All right, guys, welcome in. I had a whole joke written, and then like 10 seconds ago, I realized I should probably can it because I'm wearing black, and it was going to be for the TPUSA funeral. But I thought that was going to hit a little too close to home. Maybe it's too soon. I don't know. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hit that like button on your way in. Helps push the channel to the front of the algorithm and makes it a recommendation for other people as they make their way through their YouTube search user interface. They'll see the program. They'll join in. They'll see what all the fun's about. They'll see what all the fun's about. I did decide to wear black because of what I perceive is the beginning of the end of TPUSA. I think TPUSA is in real trouble. I mean, the type of trouble I can't even begin to explain. Hang on just a second. There's something going around, and I don't know if I'm coming down with it or not. It might be that I went 3 hours and 42 minutes last night nonstop talking, and now I have to recover and do it again. But we're going to get through it, people. We're going to get through it. I've got a lot to cover. I am going to get through a monologue, which a keen observer of the program, recommended I change the title of the monologue to The Opening Statement, which I thought's really catchy. I've given opening statements. I've never given them to 2,557 people making their way into the program. I've never given them to, frankly, more than 12 people, court reporters, a few family members, and some court employees. But I've given opening statements. And here's the problem. Here's the problem with calling it an opening statement. In an opening statement, legally, technically, you're not allowed to argue. There's a closing argument, but there's an opening statement. The opening is not an opening argument. It's an opening statement. And I do a lot of arguing. Like today, for example, in what I'm going to call the monologue, I might switch it to the opening statement, but I have to figure out how to reconcile that in my head, the arguing and the whatever else in my head. So I got to figure that part out. Yeah, we're good to go. All right, I've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to get heated today. Candace and I don't even know if she's aware we're doing this. I'm aware of it. We're playing a little good cop, bad cop. She goes on live. She plays good cop. She sits there. She's dressed beautifully. She's wearing a very stylish clothing. She's calm. She gets into the microphone. She makes salient points. And then I get on here and I lose my friggin' mind. I get on here, I just go crazy. And so I'm going to bad cop it a little bit tonight. I've got my Christus Regnat hat on. So Christ is King. Welcome in. Christ reigns, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to go crazy a little bit. Oh, here's why I did the 10. So in Scripture, here's why I did Christus Regnat. In Scripture, the number 10, it's completeness, it's perfection, it's divine order. You've got the 10 commandments, the 10 plagues, the 10 virgins, the 10 talents. It's testing, it's judgment, it's a full cycle of time. This is also the 10th program that I've worn a hat with a slogan on it. So I figured what could be better for 10 than Christ reigns. So that's the genesis of the 10, the celebrating 10 episodes with a hat on. I'm afraid I can't lose it now. Anyway, I got to get to the monologue, but I'm afraid I can't lose the hat because so many people email me or so many people send comments and they're like, hey, love the hat. What's the hat going to be tomorrow? And I'm like, I kind of stuck with a hat now. So I don't know if I'm going to lose the hat one day or not, but for now, Christ reigns. All right, let's get to the monologue and then we will get to the absolute horrific public relations debacle that TPUSA pulled today, and I don't know that they can recover. I don't know that they can recover. I will probably be a little fiery, a little passionate, and a little bad cop to what I determined was Candace's good cop. Yes, they canceled. We'll get to it. I got a whole monologue to get through, and believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the monologue is actually very relevant. I didn't know it was going to be so relevant because I had it selected before I knew that they were going to cancel on Candace Owens. But here we go. What does Nelson Mandela What does Nelson Mandela have to do with why the rich and powerful lied to us? And what does it have to do with Charlie Kirk? Well, let me tell you. In 1943, Nelson Mandela was a 25-year-old lawyer. He was working in Johannesburg, South Africa. It was there and then that he joined a political party known as the African National Congress, the ANC, as it is popularly called. And the ANC was deeply involved in anti-colonial efforts against the British, who ruled by apartheid. This is a system of racial segregation that excluded native South Africans from government positions. Mandela was repeatedly arrested for sedition and other items like that. And he even secretly joined the Marxist South African Communist Party. It turned from nonviolence to militant resistance against the apartheid government. In 1961, his organization led a militant sabotage campaign to overthrow the apartheid government, and it failed. He was arrested, he was convicted, and in 1962, he was sentenced to life in prison. He had served 27 years of his life sentence when South African President F.W. de Klerk released him from prison in 1990 in an attempt to quell a growing uprising against the apartheid government. Upon release from prison, Mandela worked closely with President de Klerk to end the apartheid government and have open elections in South Africa. That election was held in 1994, and Mandela's party won 63% of the vote. They dominated the seats in the National Assembly and elected Nelson Mandela the first president of the newly independent South Africa. Mandela served until 1999, and passed away from this life in 2013. It's a remarkable story, but it's a story that shouldn't be as remarkable as it's grown to be. And here's why. In 2009, 10 years after Mandela left the presidency of South Africa, 4 years before he actually died, there was a paranormal researcher named Fiona Broom who thought Mandela had died in prison in the 80s. And she realized he was very much still alive. And as she talked with other people she knew, she noticed she wasn't alone. Many other people also believed Nelson Mandela had died in the 1980s. They cited specific reasons that they believed he died, such as lessons in history books, a very public and televised funeral. She coined this phenomenon the Mandela effect. And though this phenomenon was only first identified and named 14 years ago, an entire cottage industry has popped up around it. People routinely share from popular consumer items, names of authors, lines from movies, actors from movies, and more, to prove that a variation exists between popular perception and reality, similar to that which Fiona Broom noticed with Nelson Mandela. For example, did the Fruit of the Loom logo have a cornucopia? Did Darth Vader say, Luke, I am your father? Or no, I am your father? Did the cartoon say mirror, mirror on the wall? Or did it say magic mirror on the wall? Was it the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears? Did Sinbad star in the movie Shazam? Did Fred Rogers sing It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood or It's a Beautiful Day in This Neighborhood? And chances are you missed at least one of those, maybe more. A good percentage of you may have missed all of them. And the Mandela effect is admittedly a weird phenomenon on its face. And people have offered all sorts of explanations for it. Explanations range from time warps, parallel dimensions, unscrupulous gangs of elites intentionally changing history, much the way Stalin altered photographs and erased his rivals. But the real question is why? Why does this happen? Why does it really happen? The answer has to do with a lot of why our government lies to us so much, why our media lies to us, why academia and Hollywood and entertainment lie to us. And the answer is the innate inability of humans to spend precious brain power focusing on details to things that aren't truly life-changing in our own lives. I mean, sure, we really enjoyed Star Wars, but did we memorize every line? No. So when people started repeating a slightly wrong version of a popular line of a movie in pop culture, we ran with it. Same goes for Mr. Rogers. Goes for the Berenstain Bears. It goes for the logo in your underwear and T-shirts you wore growing up. Those examples ultimately don't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. But you know what means a lot? Who shot JFK? Did we land a man on the moon? Did jet impacts cause the Twin Towers to fall at free fall speed a few hours later? And what about Building 7? Why did it collapse? What happened in Las Vegas in 2017? Why did Maui burn? And the Palisades? Why did Joe Biden's vote total jump over Donald Trump's in the middle of the night when the vote counting was supposed to be stopped? How did a 20-year-old outwit the Secret Service and take a clean shot at President Trump? And why don't we know anything about him? And who shot Charlie Kirk and why? The questions go on and on. Most of these events were major news stories. We assumed we learned everything or nearly everything while we spent days, weeks, or months glued to the television while these stories dominated public discourse. The answer lies in what is covered, how long it is covered, and what is shared while it is covered. Because then when the collective media world is ready to move on, it moves on. And the story disappears from scrutiny. What's left is only what the global elite wants you to know, and perhaps more importantly, what they want you to believe. These elites have historical evidence that they can get you to believe almost anything they want. The method is tried and true. You repeat something over and over and over, and when the event fades from your attention, what remains is not the reality of the event, it's the pop culture version of the events that have been planted in your mind. For example, Darth Vader never said, "Luke, I am your father." He said, "No, I am your father." That's not the result of some wormhole in time or some alternate dimension. It's the result of pop culture accidentally messing up the line and everyone repeating it over and over until reality fades and pop culture remains. But something's changed. At least something is changing. When the elites intentionally planted fake stories in our heads about JFK and 9/11, the internet either didn't exist at all in the case of JFK, or in the case of 9/11, it only existed in a nascent form of what we have today. There was no YouTube where we could present evidence, where we could review different angles, interview experts, crowdsource footage, and perform scientific inquiry. There was no X where long threads could flesh out fine details, and crowds of people from all sorts of different backgrounds could evaluate evidence and add suggestions in real time. Instead, there was Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather. And forgive me for sneaking suspicion that they weren't working to make sure the American people got the absolute rock-solid truth about what happened. We're witnessing panic as the elites are having a harder and harder time getting us to move on from stories and swallow their preferred narratives without objection. Take the Charlie Kirk case. If Charlie Kirk had been shot in 1925 or 1965 or even 1995, no one would have questioned a thing. Tyler Robinson would unquestionably have been accepted as the shooter. After all, he texted his lover, right? He confessed to the entire thing right in those messages. He had access to the roof and a .30-06 with his DNA on it. Oh, and he also transcribed the bullets with furry memes. Open and shut. Easy peasy, fresh and breezy, lemon squeezy. But then came Candace Owens. Now, she wasn't at 30 Rock. She was in her basement. She had a webcam and a YouTube channel. And then came Ryan Matta looking through footage and finding every anomaly. And he wasn't in the CBS headquarters in New York. He was in his living room. He had his phone in selfie mode and a TV on the wall behind him. And he was posting his findings to X. Then came Ian Carroll. He wasn't in Atlanta at CNN. He was in an Airbnb somewhere in America with a camera and a computer sharing his main screen. And he was on Twitch and on and on. The longer the story was drawing out, the more and more investigators jumped in. Not from newsrooms in major cities. They joined from their bedrooms and home offices. They weren't reading from teleprompters. They were reading straight from source material. And then the commenters and the emailers. And all of a sudden, the mainstream effort to blame Tyler Robinson wasn't just up against Candace and Ryan and Ian and others on social media channels. The mainstream media found themselves up against engineers, mathematicians, scientists, air traffic controllers, military insiders, intelligence insiders, TPUSA insiders, and more. Experts in hundreds of fields started emailing, messaging, commenting, offering their expertise in the effort to figure out the question of the year. Who killed Charlie Kirk? Who really killed Charlie Kirk and why. The one thing the elites didn't have to face when cramming unbelievable narratives down our throats during the days of JFK and 9/11 and more, you. They didn't have to face you. You are the reason this investigation persists. You're the reason we're closer every single day to figuring out what really happened and who was really involved. You, not the FBI, not the Utah police, not TPUSA, not Fox News, not CNN. You. And with that, I want to get to the biggest news of the day. The attempted sabotage of Candace Owens by the liars and snakes at TPUSA, because what they pulled was absolutely unbelievable. It should go down. It should end TPUSA, honestly. What they pulled should end TPUSA. And any honest organization should absolutely be utterly destroyed. They should be inundated with honest people emailing, calling, texting, saying, guys, what you pulled was so utterly dishonest, so disgusting, so repulsive. It should not be permitted in polite society. You guys should be evicted from society. You should be done away with after what you guys pulled. I woke up at 3:20 this morning, kicked into the bathroom, did my old man thing in the bathroom where you have to go to the bathroom twice every night. And then I stumbled and I thought, well, I'm awake enough. I might as well jump onto X and see what's going on. So I open it up and I see this sent at 12:21 a.m. 12:21 a.m. I see this from Blake Neff, or Blake Sneff, I guess. What do we call it? Blake S. Neff. The live stream we announced on the show Wednesday has been set. 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15. A collection of Charlie's friends will respond to statements made by Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest. We'll be live streaming from Charlie's Phoenix studio. Our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she's welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of today. Multiple things wrong here. One, you don't notify somebody in good faith via X at 21 minutes after midnight. That is just plain and simple. That's obvious, though. If I beat on that horse, you guys are going to say, oh, but Baron, you're just telling us what we already know. Yeah, okay. So let me show you the real issue. It's right here. They have a deep and abiding desire to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest. Why? What does that have to do with getting to the truth of what Candace Owens is saying? The answer is it doesn't. It has nothing to do with getting to the truth of what Candace Owens is saying. In fact, I didn't even look when America Fest is opening. I think it's opening the next week, right? America Fest, TPUSA 2025. When is that opening? December 18 to 21. Yeah, it's later that week. December 18 to 21. What is taking place at America Fest? Straight cash, homie. This is where they are hoping to bring in loads of donors. Keep in mind, right now, the insiders at TPUSA are Scrooge McDucking in the treasury of TPUSA. They are swimming in cash. They have never had more money in the entire history of TPUSA. Not one time in the history of TPUSA had they looked and their balance sheet been as strong as it is right now. And what's the one thing they've got on their mind? Cash. Cash. What's the second thing they have on their mind? They can't have a repeat of what happened this summer. It got someone killed. They can't have a repeat of what happened this summer. What happened this summer? Every single person that seemed like at TPUSA was focusing on Israel. Well, what do you think they're going to focus on in December if this is going on right now behind the scenes? Every single comment on every single post on that a TPUSA person, whether it's Mikey, whether it's Andrew Colvette, whether it's Blake Neff, whether it's a TPUSA account, every single comment is like, what's wrong with you guys? You guys are acting guilty. You guys are running. Why won't you answer Candace? He absolutely 100%. I don't follow anybody. Somebody said he doesn't follow Candace. I don't follow anybody because I've got a really well curated stream right now. And I have the people I go to look at. So don't take anything from that. I have very few followers, and I have zero people I follow. I have like 14,000 followers, and I follow zero people. But they can't have a repeat where every single topic during the December event, during America Fest, is centered around Candace Owens. So they have to go in here and try to cook the goose. How are they going to do that if she shows up prepared and has equal time? Well, notice they're not saying let's have a debate about it. They're not saying we'll answer Candace's questions. They're not even saying they really want her there. In fact, they're saying they don't want her there. She's welcome to come and let us know by the end of the day today. What is that saying? We don't want you there. I'll let you in on a little secret in journalism. I've had this happen quite a bit. I've represented people, and they've called me panicked. The New York Times or the Washington Post or ABC will be doing a story, and they'll send you a text and say, hey, I'm going to print in 2 hours on a story I've been working on for 6 months. Would you like to comment? Here it is. Or here's what we're going to say about you. Here's what we're going to say your quote. Would you like to comment? You have 2 hours to respond. Do they want your comment? No, they absolutely don't want your comment. And that's what Blake Neff is doing here. If this is the old New York Times, give them 2 hours to respond. That's all this is. That's all this is. So, weirdly enough, Candace actually does respond. She responds at 9 a.m., which I think for a mother of 3 or 4, however many kids she has, that's pretty good timing. I mean, that's pretty quick turnaround. She does respond. Why am I learning about this on X? Hey, great question, Candace. No email, no call, no ask about availability. Just a December 15, take it or leave it. We're doing it at 2 p.m. Local time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, which, oh, by the way, is the time, well, roughly the time Candace goes live every day. That's 3 p.m. our time. And hey, it doesn't work in person, but I can be there, happily be there, cancel my own podcast and join you guys virtually. How does that work? Let's lock it in. Does that sound like she's declining? Does that sound like she's saying, I can't be there, I'm trying to weasel out of it? Also add that I'm happy to jump on Charlie's show any day before then, virtually as well. I was serious when I said we could do it today even. Or pretty much any day, okay? So, and I'm bringing this up for a particular reason. Because I have been in awe all day because TPUSA got what they want, which is low down, it's dirty, it's low budget, it's criminal, it's dishonest, it's unchristian, it's unbecoming of them, it's disgusting, it's snake-like, it's cowardly, it's slithery behavior. I made a reporter from, where was she from? Washington Post or CNN or somewhere. I made her cry. Because she pulled that crap where she'd been working on a story for like 4 months and then calls my client and says, you got 2 hours to respond or 3 hours to respond or we're going to go without your comment. And I called back and I said, that's a hit job. You're not a real reporter. I said, is this what you told your mom you wanted to be when you left to go to college? Is this what you said you wanted to be? You wanted to be a hit job for some insider somewhere slandering Americans and giving them 2 hours to respond to a story you've been working on for 4 months? That's what you wanted to be in life? Are you proud of yourself? When you lay down at night, are you happy with who you've become? When you look yourself in the mirror naked after you've gotten out of the shower, do you see an honest person or do you see a scumbag piece of slime? Well, I asked Blake the same question. I actually feel bad about what I'm saying right now because in a minute I'm going to play a video of Blake from the day after Charlie Kirk was taken down. And in the video, I actually feel kind of bad for him. Now, I lose the bad feeling when crap like this happens and he lies. And I've got proof now that he's changed his story. I'm going to cut his... What was it Jesse Jackson said? I'm going to cut his... This is loser behavior from a bunch of losers. They have gotten so wealthy on white man's welfare over there at TPUSA, pulling in millions of dollars, swimming around in cash, never having actually to go earn a dollar in their life. As long as they're willing to tell people that we've got to involve ourselves in this foreign affair over here, and we've got to support this foreign military over there, as long as they're willing to say that, they're going to keep getting millions of dollars. As long as they keep running on a radio show that says Charlie Kirk Show at the bottom, creepily, I'll add. It's been 3 months, guys. Change the name of the show. And then this is the cowardly response from one of the biggest cowards I've ever encountered in the history of this planet. This is Blake S. Neff, coward supreme, absolute scumbag loser. I honestly feel bad for the guy because his first instinct when he was faced with a life or death tragedy was to call his mom. And so I know deep down somewhere in that out of shape body of his, I know deep down in there somewhere in that probably plaque-riddled heart he has, I know there's some sort of humanity in there, but it doesn't come out in this post, and it doesn't come out in the way he's acting right now. You guys are lucky this is a family show and I keep it clean, because I would be saying things I say when I'm not on air. Yesterday, we made it clear. We made it clear. Excuse me, sir. I thought you were trying to, suss out the truth here. We made it clear. I have spoken. I am Blake Neff, and I have spoken. R. We would be scheduling a formal response to the allegations. What is a formal response? You're going to wear a dinner jacket? You're going to wear a black tie? What is a formal response? Are you filing it with a court of law? That's a formal response. Firing up the Charlie Kirk show and profiting on a dead man's name, sir, that's not a formal response, sir. That's not a formal response. We would be scheduling a formal response to the allegations you've made. We have decided that response will be delivered during a live stream on December 15th. Yeah, well, okay. Thank you for your response, letting us know you will not be joining the in-person conversation. We will be proceeding without you. Again, sometimes when I get done with the show, I feel a little bad because I get a little heated and I say things, and then I as soon as the show's over, I'm like, I probably shouldn't call them all Flintstones. But this is the most Flintstone happy thing I've ever seen. This is the most effeminate response I've ever seen from an organization with this many males in it. This is the most effeminate, womanly, histrionic, hysterical response I've ever seen. And it absolutely 100% convinces me of everything I think about you guys. 3 minutes ago, Candace Owens, it's been decided by the public that the best response for this is for my team to live stream your live stream and provide commentary. Since you already picked our regular podcasting time, we look forward to providing live responses to your once and for all answers. I think this is a fine response. I think it's a fine response. What I might do if I was Candace Owens, you know how they, this is kind of cruel. Maybe I shouldn't say what I was about to say. You know how they have that chair, the Charlie Kirk chair sitting out, and the Charlie Kirk microphone, and the Charlie Kirk picture with the chyron that says Charlie Kirk 3 different times? I think if I was Candace Owens, I might go find that exact chair, buy an RE20 microphone off of the internet that looks just like his, and set it up exactly like Charlie Kirk's chair. That's what I would do. I would set it up exactly like Charlie Kirk's chair. And then in the one next to it, I would have like Barney Rubble. And then the chair next to that, I would have like Fred Flintstone. Bam Bam. This is the most effeminate group of men that has ever run an organization. Acting like this. We've decided, you've chosen not to be at our live stream at our designated time. Bro, you ever heard of StreamYard? Oh, I mean, you guys, Andrew Colvette streams in like half the time because he lives in a rich house in Santa Barbara. He doesn't want to live in a kitty litter sandbox with you losers in Arizona. He doesn't like you guys, in case you haven't figured that out. All right, well, while I'm banging on him, let's do it. I mean, if we're gonna destroy the guy, let's just go ahead and put him out of his misery. I want you to remember Blake Neff's bull crap, lying, no good, foul self when he supposedly was setting the record straight on the Mikey McCoy video. Do you guys remember this? They sat around, and this is when Mikey's such a happy young man. He is such a good guy. He's normally so bubbly. He's so smiley. Got that full tooth grin. It's that day. We're going to play a little clip of that video. And the reason I'm going to is because we have now found out there are things he said in that video that are just not true. And I'm going to pin it on him. I'm going to take this donkey tail with its little tack, and I'm going to stick it right in his butt crack. That's where we're headed today. And I wasn't going to do this, Blake. I was going to let it go. I was going to let it go. And then you got all histrionic. You got all womanly on me. No, I've already made the schedule. If you can't be there, that's your fault.
I can say is, I can't say every single thing that happened, but I want to talk about this specific narrow thing, that the shooting occurs. I am next to Mikey. Both of us hear a loud crack. We both turn. We both see Charlie, who has been shot. Both of us, I think at about the same time, realize that that means there is a shooter who is on the scene. And, you know, you just hear the crack. So
let me just pause. His affect is absolutely consistent with someone who would send those tweets. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to keep saying it, but I'm telling you right now. Now, I'm going to point out how many lies are in this. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
You don't know, did it come from far away? Did it come from close? Is there a mass shooter unfolding right now? So I and him both had the reaction of, let's get out of here before we are both shot. That is not us abandoning Charlie. Charlie had a security team. They all leapt immediately into action, and they got Charlie out of there, which was what their job was to do. My job was not to get in the way and screw this up because, like, I had to be a hero. That was not my job. I remember even running past, both of us going past the, you know, the SUV that we came in on, and me thinking, should I get in that car? And then thinking, no, that's a really stupid thing to do. And then I kept going. So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left.
Okay, so we both leave. We hear the shooter. I'm contemplating my mortality and existence. Should I leap into action? No, he's got a good security team. Should I get into this SUV? No, that's probably not a good idea. Okay, so we're going through this. What is he not doing right now? We're going to get to that in a second. We're going to get to that in a second. He's abandoned a part of his key part of his story.
And then we get out, and I run for can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realized there hasn't been another shot, so the shooter has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me, and I see Mikey. And I see Mikey there. And truthfully, I will never forget what I saw, because I've seen Mikey almost every day for the past 2 years.
He pauses. He sees now keep in mind, he's not used his phone yet. He's not touched his phone. He's just running. He pauses like this. For some reason, he does it kind of like a ninja. Like he's taekwondoing in the parking lot. Maybe there was a threat. but he's not touched his phone, and he sees Mikey. Now he has this encounter with Mikey here. You ready for this? He has this whole encounter with Mikey. We're going to find out later that I don't want to spoil the surprise. I don't want to tell you what you're getting for Christmas and then give you the box. I want to show you.
I know his personality very well. He's a very bubbly guy. He's a very happy guy almost all of the time. And I'll never forget what I saw, because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before. And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaking out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erica.
Okay, so I think that's enough of it for now. He has a supreme encounter with the general, Mikey, the amazing Mikey McCoy, the great Mikey McCoy. You've got this situation, Blake Neff, just to recap, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but he hears a gunshot, he looks at Charlie, he evaluates the need for he's got a good security team, looks bad, but they've got him, they're going to carry him away. I get out of there, I'm looking around, I finally see Mikey, his lip is quivering. Just wait. Just wait. Because you're going to ask yourself in a second, where the hell was all this detail the first time you told the story? Because I have now the first time he told the story. Where was all this detail the first time you told the story? And here's why I was saying I feel bad about it. Because I actually, if I didn't despise this guy by now, if he wasn't such an effeminate scumbag, if he wasn't the way he is, if he wasn't, carrying water for a bunch of scumbags, I'd actually feel bad for him based on this one video I'm about to show you. I would feel bad for him. But I'm sorry, when you're sabotaging Candace like that, knowing what she's going through, and you guys don't have any desire whatsoever to interact with her, you want to get, it's like when you know your friend's going to be out of town, so you call them and ask them if they want to come over for dinner. Like you heard from another neighbor they're going to be out of town, and you're like, oh, the Smiths are going to be out of town? And so you call the Smiths and you say, do you guys want to do dinner Saturday? We're cooking. We got a whole beef stew going. We've got some noodles. We're gonna fry up some jalapeno poppers. You guys want to come over? Oh, no, buddy, we're going to be out of town. Oh, I hate that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear you're going to be out of town. Well, another time. Dude, you just got credit for inviting them over. They think you're amazing. They think you're amazing. That's what you did to Candace. And it's a scumbag move. It's dishonest. It's lying. It's horrible. It's all the bad things you can possibly stack on top of each other. And so now I don't feel as bad showing you that the first time you told this story, there was no Mikey McCoy. Keep in mind the context of the video I just showed you, the interview I just showed you. Keep in mind the context of that was Sam Parker absolutely filleted Mikey McCoy's response immediately after the gunshot and pointed out that he had turned away from Charlie Kirk and was walking off, let's just be honest, with a phone to his ear. It looked like a phone to his ear. Within 0.8 of a second, 800 milliseconds. Within that much, that close. And so they bring in Blake to BS and lie to us because he apparently doesn't have a conscience the way he's acted here lately. They bring in Blake to BS and lie to us and tell us, no, Mikey was devastated. You should have seen his lip quivering. It was amazing. Lip was just a quivering. I was right next to him the whole time. He wasn't on the phone. He was devastated. Oh, yeah? Well, let's find out if that's true. Were you next to him the whole time? Or have you told this story before and left the whole quivering lip out of it? This was the day after the shooting, before they knew Mikey needed an alibi.
What was it like? Did you sense that something was off before the gunshot rang out? Kind of paint the picture for us.
I don't want to lead too much into it, but after it happened, I talked to some other members of the team, and several of us did say we experienced some sort of unsettling feeling. I think for me, it was that it was in this amphitheater, which really emphasized like the size of the crowd, but also it emphasized, the buildings in the background. And actually, for the first few minutes, before Charlie walked out, I remember I was scanning, I was just looking around idly, like, oh, where would someone be if something happened? And I didn't think too much of it. I stopped, by the time Charlie came out, but I immediately thought back to that as soon as it happened. When it did, I would say I was about 10 feet to Charlie's left when it happened. And it was just, it's, that one of those moments that'll crystallize in your mind forever,
It'll crystallize in your mind forever. You know what that means? Your story's not going to change. That's what that means. That's literally what that means. Crystals don't change their shape. Crystals don't change their shape. It's one of those moments that'll crystallize in your mind forever. Therefore, Jack, everything I'm about to tell you is what happened, and my story will never change. Well, until Mikey needs an alibi, then it'll change. And then once I get caught lying in Mikey's alibi, then I'm going to sabotage Candace with a dishonest, underhanded leftist trick, pull the rug out from under her. But after that, we're all going to win some souls for Jesus. It's going to be nice. We're going to make heaven crowded. After we get done lying all the time. So, he was 10 feet away. Pick it up, Mikey. Take it away.
Oh, you hear that?
Or Blake?
The pop, and it's not completely clear immediately what it is. But then I looked to my right and I saw immediately what it was, and I'll never forget it.
So he'll never forget it. It's crystallized in his mind. Tell me more about what happened immediately after it.
No. And was there a thought? I mean, obviously Charlie's got great security that I know got to him immediately. These guys are incredibly well trained. I know Dan, I know everybody, I know the whole team. And I'm sure they got him the medical attention immediately that he needed, got him where he, to higher medical facilities at the hospital. And, but just so when that happened, did it seem surreal in the sense? Did it seem like Butler? Did it seem like everyone sort of, scatters, or was it just kind of as confusing as it sounds?
It was definitely confusing, but it was also, it was, how to describe it? It was clear what had happened. There was only one shot. We all immediately saw what had happened. You're correct. The security got him immediately, got him into the car immediately, got him out immediately. They could not have done their job on that front any better.
All right, he's about to tell us what he did. Now, remember, in the clip we just watched a few minutes ago, we had a quivering lip. He was stopping and pausing and looking at Mikey. They were making phone calls together. Take it away, Blake.
And then at that point, it was, what do we do? And I know on my end, I think the first thing I did was I sent a message to, I opened Telegram and I went to our turning point thing and I said, lockdown turning point. I imagine they'd already seen it too, but I just said, lock it down. Something happened. Do it right ASAP.
Well, that's a new fact. That's a new fact. You left that fact out of your retelling of it when you're rehabbing Mikey. Well, that's a new fact. So you didn't, as you told us in the previous clip, you didn't turn and immediately run. I mean, I have video of you, Blake, at Blake Neff speed. I mean, cooking out of there. You remember when you hit that old gal with the jab step behind the stage? I have the video. Do you need me to play it? When did you send this thing? Because you were saying, oh, no. Here's the moment I called my mom. Well, if you're pulling out your phone, I got to pull out my phone. I have Telegram. I'm going to open it. I pull out my phone. I got to open the Telegram app. There we go. Open in Telegram. It's okay. Now it's queued up. Now I got to get a thread open. Let's do this thread. You guys can't see this thread, can you? I don't need to get outed. Not that kind of outed. Not TPUSA outed. I'm talking about like as a radical right winger. All right, now I got to type it in here. What did he say? He said, lockdown TPUSA, lockdown TPUSA, send. How long did that take? Was that like 35, 40 seconds? When were you seeing Mikey? When were you turning and seeing Mikey? When was the lip quivering, Blake? Do tell.
And then I'll be honest, I called my mom because I didn't know.
Now wait a darn tootin' minute, young Blake. Where is the quivering lip? Where is he called Erica, I called my mom after he called, at the same time he called Erica. When did all this happen? Where is young Mikey? You were his alibi witness. You were the one that cleared his name. When Sam Parker put on Facebook, based Sam Parker put on Facebook, or put on X rather, the video of Mikey looking horrifically suspicious, walking away like this. No. They hollow Blake Neff out. Gaslight Blake. Get Blake a light. Hey, Blake a light anyone. Roll him out. He'll make up any story. And he gets out there. Oh, no. See, they had this, they kind of funneled, and you had to get out of there. It was crowded. And by the time I could figure out where I was, and then I look and I see Mikey, and his lip is just a quivering. I have never seen him that way. He's normally such a bubbly guy, happy, smiley Mikey. Happy, gay, we say. Again, Flintstones gay, where he's having a gay old time all the time. Where was Mikey in this telling? Where was the quivering lip? It's crystallized in your mind, Blake. You just told me that. It's crystallized in your mind.
I think the first thing I did was I sent a message to, I opened Telegram and I went to our Turning Point thing and I said, lockdown Turning Point. I imagined they'd already seen it too, but I just said, lock it down. Something happened. Do it right ASAP. And then I'll be honest, I called my mom because I didn't know if there would be anyone else out there, if anything else would happen. So I just called my mom and said immediately, I can't say more, but Mom, Charlie got shot. I love you. I have to go. And then from there, I met up with some other members of the team. We got to the hospital within, I'd say, about 25 minutes or so.
You're just going to breeze past the quivering lip? From there, we met up with other members of the team. From there, we got straight to the hospital. Where's the quivering lip? Where's the I gotta call Erica? Where's the I gotta call my dad, the pastor, Robbie McCoy? Where is he? Where's Robbie in this moment? Blake, buddy. I've never been more disappointed in a human being than I am in Blake Neff. Blake Neff was unceremoniously fired from Fox News and the Tucker Carlson show for horrifically racist and sexist statements. He gets a rehab assignment at TPUSA. Why? Well, you're seeing it. You're seeing the answer. I talked in the last episode about maybe how some people get a little compromised and they're overpaid, and because of that, you can make them do or say anything, legal or illegal. Well, you're seeing it play out in real time. There's nobody that owes TPUSA more than Blake. Blake was on the down and outs. His Google resume was so bad, he was never going to get another job. And then Charlie hired him. And now we know maybe why someone in TPUSA wanted him there. He's so compromised. His Google resume is so bad, we can get him to say anything. But tell him, hey, Blake, go on air and tell him Mikey's lip was quivering. They're going to buy it. They're going to love it. Oh, man, Timcast is going to eat it up. Quivering lip, are you kidding me? They're going to love it. They're going to love it. Oh, man. The guys at Paramount, they're going to get a kick out of that quivering lip. Oh, man. I'm telling you what. Jack Posobiec. I know you told Jack that there was no quivering lip. You didn't mention Mikey. But my goodness, is Jack going to like the quivering lip when he goes on his daily 9-tweet episode every single day saying Tyler Robinson did this all by himself. He's going to love it. Guys, they're just going to eat it up. The quivering lip? Are you kidding me? And you know Blake's looking across the table like, guys, no one's going to buy the quivering lip. Blake, tell him Mikey's happy. Tell him he's a happy guy right before you say he has a quivering lip. They'll eat it up. They'll eat it up. They'll eat it up. I'm telling you. Well, I didn't even see Mikey. You know, I sent the telegram first, and then I had to call my mom. I just blend it all together. Just throw it all in there. Just cut the telegram out. We don't want people to know that we're using Pavel Durov's app for encrypted private communications. We don't want to cut that part out. Leave that part out. Just tell them that you saw Mikey. They weren't there. They don't know. No one, trust me, Blake, baby. No one's going to know. Surely there's no video of you from the day after floating around out there that people have forgotten about because there was too many videos in the days after. Surely there's no video in the day after that completely undermines everything you're about to say. We can't even contemplate that would be a thing. We wouldn't even guess. So go with the quivering lip. Tell him he's happy. That'll kind of set up the quivering lip. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Is there more? I don't even remember, honestly. I might be playing some garbage here. But there might be more, and I don't want to miss it.
And the rest of the day unfolded from there.
Well, yada, yada, yada. And then Charlie was buried. Yeah, you should have yada, yada'd from the beginning and left yourself a little space. A little space to move. You know, as a lawyer, a lot of times you're not telling your client to be quiet because you're afraid he's going to lie. It's just that people forget things. Yeah. Just leave a lot of these facts out. No, that's not at all. You're afraid he's going to lie. You're afraid he's going to lie. So that was the first call. That was the first call. And then after he makes his call, after he sends the telegram and after he makes his call, then he meets up with Mikey, who may or may not have had a quivering lip. I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure. I don't know if lips even quiver anymore. I don't even know if lips still quiver. You guys want to go back now? No, it's too much. It's piling on. It's piling on at this point. I wanted to go back. And I wanted to play it again where he does the quivering lip thing and just really show you that they're just not being honest. This is the quality of people we're dealing with over there. This is the quality of people we're dealing with. These are the people calling us dishonest because we're asking questions about things that don't make sense. Like, oh, how convenient that as soon as the very second a video surfaces showing Mikey running for the hills in what appears to be on a telephone call within 0.8 of 1 second, it's amazing that at that moment you guys decide to come out with this whole ordeal and whole story bailing Mikey out. It's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. No, it's criminal. It's criminal. It's sinful. And it's dishonest. It's dishonest. And the problem is, you guys are not you guys, not this audience. No, you guys are not buying any of it. I can assure you. But those other people are buying it. Those other people are buying it. You know how I know? Watch this. Watch this. I retweeted a couple of these, or I commented back at a couple of these. So I just need to go to my profile here. Yeah, here we go. This is an example of how this is being treated. This is the answer they wanted. This is what they were going for. Okay. Now you see why TPUSA pulled the stunt of demanding her presence via a midnight tweet without consulting her as to time and date. Graham's tweet and others like it are what they were looking to accomplish. This is exactly why they pulled that stunt. Graham Allen, breaking. Real Candace O just backed out of the in-person debate presented by TPUSA. Shocking. Guys, we can read. Like, I can read the English language. And now there's community note. Now you've been noted. She accepted the debate with no reports of withdrawal. Now the next one. Well, that was Jack crashing out. Here's the next one. Natalie, who doesn't know how to spell Natalie. Knew it. Candace is trying to back out? No. she would be replicating the folly she exhibited with the L. Reeves on the CNN interview, but on a gargantuan scale. She could never go live in person and clear her libel. Nobody's this stupid. This is my point. Nobody is this stupid. I mean, well, granted, there are a lot of stupid people in the world, but most people aren't this stupid. Nobody's IQ is actually this low. They know she's trying to be accommodating to a group that is actively sabotaging her by setting the agenda, setting the time and date, and mandating a live appearance. But somehow she's backing out. This is what they wanted. This is exactly what they wanted. This is the equivalent of you knowing the Smiths are going out of town because the Johnsons told you hey, Barron, did you know the Smiths are going out of town? They're going to a lake house. Oh, yeah, their friend of theirs let them borrow the lake house. When are they going, this weekend? Yeah, this weekend. Okay. Bring. Hey, Billy Smith, you want to come over this weekend? I'm making a pot of chili. You going to make some jalapeno poppers. Let's watch a football game. Big Indiana-Ohio State. Oh, you can't make it? That's too bad. Sorry to hear it. That's the equivalent of what they did. That's the equivalent of what they did. She's a homeschool mother of 4 on December 15th. What is that, the middle of the week? That's a Monday. It's a Monday. Out west, which means you lose the whole next day traveling. So she's out Monday, she's out Tuesday, going right into the holidays. Now, I understand you guys are just chomping at the bit to solve this before America Fest or whatever it is. What a lousy name. I will say this. I've heard from a lot of people. I have no doubt in my mind there's going to be the gayest old time ever had at this event. That's the TPUSA reputation they have to live up to. Now, I want to completely switch gears here because I promised I was going to do this yesterday. It's actually the reason I came live tonight. Because I said I was going to do this. I have an unenviable task ahead of me. Self-appointed, granted, I got myself in this mess. But I had the unenviable task of consuming as much Rob McCoy content as I can on the internet. As much as I can find. It's an unenviable task. Nobody wants a job like this. I've accepted it. Your humble host. Somebody has to do it. Give me the nails, give me the wood, I'll crawl up there for a little while. And I'm doing it. But I want to show you a sermon I came across. This is from 2012. This is at a church in Hawaii. And I want to point this out because I think Rob was a deeply wonderful man at this point in time. I know I've given him a hard time on here. I know I've cut him down a lot on his sermons. I know I've said a lot of things about his pastoral style, his emphasis on certain foreign policy objectives, and how his sermons aren't very Christ-centered. They never mention the gospel, for example. There's no death, burial, and resurrection talked in his sermons these days. It's just like his agenda, where he's been, where he's going. You know, Dadgum Tucker doesn't like Israeli foreign policy. Y'all have a good day. But I want to go back in time, and I want to show you real quickly just two or three clips, and then I got one more story to cover after this, and it's speculative, granted, but it's about Mikey McCoy and his backpack. Speculative, granted, but I wanted to take a pause before I hemorrhaged, and I want to explain why I feel the way I do about Rob in this video. I want you to look at his affect and his demeanor, and then I'm going to show you a clip or two that are under a minute each. But I want to show you his affect and his demeanor. This is him taking the microphone. Now, you guys know today how he grabs the microphone when he starts, how he gets going, right? It's all about his agenda. It's all about how famous he is, all about all the times he goes to Israel, all about how in demand he is. It's haughty. Just wait till you see this. You're not going to recognize this Rob McCoy.
Well, I've spoken at Kumalani Chapel once before, and a number of folks came up and said, "You're really funny. Are you going to be funny this time?" No. But next week I will be. This message this morning, it's an interesting one that kind of came together. This is my devotional book. It's a one-year Bible.
Do you notice a difference in the way he presents himself then as now? Do you notice a difference? Like, he's happy. He is at peace. He has a sense of peace. So I wanted to show you that. Now I want to go into 2 clips and 2 clips only. Only because we know Rob McCoy, like, falls over backwards to well, I don't even want to tell you what this clip is. I just want to play it. I just want to play it because when you hear it, you're going to go, is that the same Rob McCoy? Because I almost fell out of my bed. I was listening to this in bed. I almost fell out of my bed when he said this.
Or he's God, and he is the way, and he is the truth, and he is the life, and no man comes to the Father but by him. Narrow. And you say, oh, Pastor, that's so narrow. That's truth. There's one answer. And there's absolutes that govern the universe. And there's a God who governs the universe, who holds the heavens in the span of his hand, and a sparrow doesn't fall from the sky without his full knowledge. He has every tear you've ever cried in a bottle. He has the hairs on your head numbered.
So he's saying Jesus is the way, the truth, and life. Nobody comes to the Father except through him. He has not said those words in, I'm telling you, I've listened to a lot of sermons. He has not said those words in years. You know why? Because it undercuts his dispensationalist argument. It undercuts his entire ministry in Israel. It undercuts everything he's trying to do at TPUSA. It undercuts everything he was trying to do where he was saying the Jews are actually better than Christians. Everything. Now, I want you to hear this part, because here's when he actually goes to the meat of how different he is. Listen to who he blames for killing God. Listen. This is not me talking. This is not me talking. Yes, he's at peace in the video. That's exactly right.
Foundation. Help me, God. And anyone who's honest with God, he will always be merciful with them. Always. And so here's Pilate looking Jesus straight in the face, seeing what the Jews have done to bring him to trial, and unwilling to crucify him, unwilling to kill him because they wanted to enjoy the Passover meal and this outward expression of religiosity. Although they were whitewashed sepulchres, on the inside they were dead.
Does that sound like the Rob McCoy of 2025 at all? Does that sound like the Rob McCoy? Look how vibrant he looks. Look how happy he looks. Look how peaceful he looks. Look how at rest he looks. He's just preaching the gospel. He's just telling people, oh, by the way, you may hear my dog, somebody's knocking. Oh, by the way, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father but through him. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. And then he goes one step farther and he says, oh, by the way, the Jews were whitewashed sepulchres, and they handed over Jesus so they could go back to their religiosity, their Passover meal. That's literally Rob McCoy. That is the same Rob McCoy who every single sermon for the last 3 years that he has on YouTube, every single sermon is blasting anyone who says that. How devastating must that be to be Rob McCoy? I received an email. I'm moving on from Rob. I received an email. There was something that bothered me, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I'm going to pull up a picture here from Charles McClintock Wilson. Pull up a picture here from Charles McClintock Wilson. Give me just a second to find it. Oh, boy. Guys, bear with me. I should have had this one pulled up ahead of time. This is Mikey entering the arena. And I want to show you the backpack. Where is the backpack? Ah, here we go. There they go. All right. We've got Charlie and his team coming in. I'll pull these up and make it big here in just a second. We've got Charlie and his team coming in. Everybody looks the same except one. One of these things is not like the other. One of the participants coming in has a large backpack. This is Charles McClintock Wilson. I did not take these photos. But you see the large backpack there. And it's buttoned on. Butch Hibbs doesn't have a backpack. Charlie doesn't have a backpack. Dan Flood doesn't have a backpack. But he has a backpack. Mikey McCoy. That's Mikey McCoy in the backpack. Mikey has a backpack. Nobody else has a backpack. Mikey has a backpack. Why is Mikey wearing a backpack? Like, I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't figure out exactly why. I asked myself over and over, and you could see here, this is a good picture of it. If it'll pull up, I have no idea why it's slow right now. Here we go. It's kind of a cumbersome backpack. Like, it's a big backpack. And I couldn't quite put my finger on why the backpack. And then I get this email. Somebody says, there's something I haven't heard anyone mention that stood out to me from day one as unusual, relating to the incredible Mikey, the artist formerly known as Michael McCoy. While it may not be overtly useful to you, it may strengthen some theories regarding the Salt Lake City hotel question you've raised. If you remember, Blake Neff just said they rushed to the hospital and were there within 25 minutes. Frank Turek's timeline really puts Mikey McCoy showing up around 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. So there's like a 10 or 15-minute window there where Blake may have been at the hospital with his team and Mikey was not part of them. So that raises the issue, where did Mikey go? And then we hear from Rob McCoy later. I just assume all of you have listened to everything I've ever said. So I'll catch you up if you haven't. We hear from Rob McCoy later, and Rob McCoy says, well, I flew into to Provo, and when I got to the hospital, Mikey wasn't there. I said hello to the people. I saw them. And then I went to the hotel in Salt Lake City where Mikey was. So this person says this may be useful regarding the Salt Lake City hotel question you've raised. In the footage of the 10th, Mikey was seen wearing a fairly cumbersome backpack. I just confirmed that's true. I showed that to you. This struck me as unusual for a couple of reasons. First, there was not a lot of space around Charlie. Do you remember how tight that little arena was where they were? And Mikey would be standing with security, audio video equipment, pastors, in a courtyard stuffed with 3,000 middle-aged students. One would imagine a backpack wouldn't be the most practical in this environment. He arrived in a nice big SUV, big enough to hold half the security team, and allow a pastor to perform CPR on a deadish man. So why wouldn't he just leave the backpack in the car that he arrived in? You remember where Frank Turek said his bag was. The emailer didn't put that. I'm adding that. Do you remember? Frank Turek says they laid Charlie in on top of his bag. And then Turek is doing CPR over the chair. And they're on their way to the hospital and people are almost falling out and they roll in there and they get Charlie in there. And then they cordon off the car, remember? They cordon off the car because it's evidence, it's police evidence. They search the car and then they release the car later. And at that point, Frank Turek is able to go in and grab the bag and grab the necklace that had fallen off into the bag. You remember that. But it answers the question, why did Frank Turek leave his bag in the car, but Mikey not leave his bag in the car? Because Mikey chose to walk around with his bag on his backpack. Now, keep in mind, these shows that Charlie Kirk would put on would last 2 or 3 hours. And you've got to get out of the truck. You've got to walk in. There's 30 minutes or so before the event actually gets started. After the event, you've got to walk back. You're walking around with a backpack on your back for 3 or 4 hours at that point. No wonder Frank Turek left his bag in the car. And as you can see from everybody else, nobody else had their bags on their back. Not to mention, it was 92 degrees and he's wearing a t-shirt. It just doesn't make sense. It would be out of the way The backpack would, but accessible, the emailer adds. And then the emailer hits the conclusion. Maybe because he knew he wouldn't be leaving in that same car. My next question, which I believe has now been answered, is what on earth was in the backpack? I didn't see him holding anything but his phone. It seems his job was just to stand and watch, so why was the backpack even necessary? Great question, emailer. Maybe because he knew he would be going to a Salt Lake City hotel that night and would need those fresh clothes to change into. Now we flash back to the conversation Rob McCoy had. And Rob McCoy says when he shows up in Salt Lake City to the hotel, Mikey McCoy is not wearing the same clothes he was wearing earlier that day, indicating Mikey McCoy was seen by his father, Rob McCoy, at some point earlier in the day. And we concluded perhaps by live stream. In short, Mikey couldn't leave his backpack filled with clothes for his stay at Salt Lake City Hotel in the car because he knew the car would be needed to take Charlie to the hospital. Just more evidence to suggest the effervescent Mikey McCoy knew exactly how the day would unfold. From a fellow Wiggler in, I don't want to out the person's place of residence, but now, again, I'm not making the conclusion that this emailer is making that Mikey was in on it. I'm raising the issue, why was Mikey the only one there with a bag? And what was in the bag? And did you really intend to walk around with a backpack on for 3 or 4 hours? Like, that's a long time to have a backpack on. That's a long time to have a backpack on. And I go back to the hotel in Salt Lake City. When did you know you were going to a hotel in Salt Lake City? Was it always part of the plan? Was the whole team planning to go back to Salt Lake City? If you just ran and got a hotel because it was getting late, well, Charlie's in Provo. Charlie's in Orem. Charlie's not in Salt Lake City, so why are you up there? It's an hour away. What was in Salt Lake City, Mikey? It would be great if Candace could ask you that on the 15th. But remember, they're not there to take questions from Candace. They're there to lecture her about why she's evil. They're there to misrepresent everything she says and has said to date, and then explain why their misrepresentation is wrong. I love that take. I love that take. That's a great email right there. You hit me with an email like that, I'm reading the whole email. I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't even sit down. I couldn't use the whole chair. I don't even know whether to read this. This is kind of a cheap shot. I'm going to think about this when I may read this tomorrow or Sunday. Someone sent me an email Blake Neff sent them yesterday at 4:14 p.m. And I don't know whether to read it, but he looks really bad in it. So I'm probably going to read it. I gotta think about it. I got to think of how I can redact it, because I don't want to show emails and names and all that. He looks really, really bad, though, if we're being honest with each other. I'm so heated, guys. I wish I wasn't. Yes, obviously, I want to go to. I had somebody email me today and say, "Do you really want to go to Arizona with Candace?" Yes. I will go in her stead since she can't go. I'll go without her. I don't want to, Candace. Not how I wanted this to end. This is not how I wanted our relationship to start. Me running your errands. Me doing the dirty work. Me being the bad cop so you can be the good cop. Not how I wanted it to be, Candace. But if it's a role I have to take, then I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll sit there and take the slings and arrows that TPUSA has. I'll let them fire them at me. Metaphorically. Metaphorically, of course. Metaphorically. Candace should live stream at the same time TPUSA and share the live stream through her live stream. Yeah, she's going to do that. Hey, maybe she's watching your comments, A-Bucks. Thank you, Joe. That's a great comment. It was so great. That's what she's actually doing. Baron, please look into the disappearance of John Cole. And he made a post about Egyptian planes on October 13th. Gone even from his Patreon, since X is suppressing posts about him missing, afraid of hit on him. I don't think there's a hit on John Cullen. I could be wrong. As I've told you guys, I'm a fan of John Cullen. I don't believe everything he says. Obviously, I don't believe everything anybody says. But I've been following John Cullen on my other X account that I actually follow people on. You guys saw the podcast account that doesn't have that I don't follow anybody on. But I have my own stealth account that follows hundreds of people, and he is among them. And he's been on there since 2017. So, but I'm not worried about him because I think he's probably safe. He just disappears for a little while. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Keep up the good work, brother. But let's be honest, nothing is going to come from any of this. No one is going to prison, death row for this. So all this means exactly nothing. Business as usual. I made that point last week, sir. I made that point last week. All the more if something happens to Tyler Robinson in the next couple of weeks. I don't think I don't want to connect them to that. I worry for Tyler Robinson's health and safety. If they can get to Jeffrey Epstein in federal custody, they can surely get to Tyler Robinson in Utah County custody. Last week you said you did not see where in the Bible it said we have to have a personal relationship with God. Are we going back to the Bible? I'll do it for you, sir. Now, come on. But the Lord called to the man. He said, where are you? Yeah, because he was walking around I'm not even going to open the Bible for that one. That does not say that Baron Coleman in the year 2025 must have a personal relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in order to be saved. Christus regnat. Christ reigns. It's good enough for me. We nominate you, Baron, to a ACSW. I accept. The doo-doo they pulled was so predictable and gross. They're officially done. No coming back. That is correct. I think this is the beginning. You know how you can kind of pinpoint the death of MAGA to Donald Trump going, are you still talking about the Epstein files? Yes, Mr. President, we are, in fact. We have been talking about them for years. And, in fact, you campaigned on them. Kash Patel campaigned on them. Dan Bongino campaigned on them. And now you guys are all in charge, and we're told they don't exist. In fact, you guys, the Jack Posobiec, the inimitable Jack Posobiec, comes out of the Attorney General's office with Epstein Files, Part 1. Where's Part 2? Oh, that doesn't exist. Then why did you call it Part 1? Blake Neff has canceled the invite to Kansas. That is correct. Did I spell it wrong? Is that what you're getting on to me about? I don't know how to spell. Is that not like a British version or something? No, cancels. TPUSA cancels Kansas. I spelled it right. You had me worried there for just a minute. You had me worried. Zach Costello, video at 9:50, interview with TPUSA employee. Very interesting. Video title starts with Tim Pool crashes. Tim Pool's in bad shape, guys. Tim Pool's in bad shape. Anyone who can't admit they're going bald or are bald is in bad shape already. It's not a problem. Like, it's a natural condition. I mean, I'm a little thin up here, to be honest with you. Not why I'm wearing a hat. But, I mean, I've done a lot of podcasts without a hat, and I'm going back without a hat pretty soon. This may be the final iteration of the message hat, unless somebody wants to buy their space up here for an obscene amount of money. I'll put your logo up here if you need me to. But Tim Pool's in bad shape. I mean, he is just crashing. What an awesome day. Lady Candace first, and now my homie Baron. Hey, thank you, Ivan. That means quite a bit to me. It really does. I don't normally go 2 days in a row, but there was so much that had to be discussed today. I could not let that Blake Neff stuff go. I had to savage him. I'm sorry. I didn't want to be the one to do it. I tuned into Candace, fully anticipating she would dissect him. And she's just so polite. Like, she is such a good cop. She's the goodest of good cops. I know she's the number one podcast. When you're number one, there's certain things you can't do and say. I am not number one. I can say anything. Christus Vincent. I'm tempted to get in trouble just to hire you as my lawyer. I wouldn't recommend it. Thank you for your entertainment, wisdom, and care for Candace. Thank you for your generous donation, MB Loves Jesus. And yeah, stay out of trouble. You don't need a lawyer. Once you've hired a lawyer, you've already lost. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Christ reigns forever, but honestly, after all that with TPUSA, your hat should have just said WTF. Where's the faith? Oh, I like that. I'll allow that. Hoffent. I'll allow that, but somebody would look at that and think I'm insinuating an ugly word. And I would never. Take 1,000 milligram vitamin C antiviral every hour on the hour. Yeah, if I want diarrhea. Works best with the moment you feel off. It'll stop the virus from multiplying. I haven't been unwell since learning this. Not medical advice, LOL. Stay well, good sir. Yeah, I've got my own home remedies. I don't want to start saying them on air. YouTube will strike me for some medical thing, but I mean, it's vitamin C. Like, right, you can't go wrong. Everybody needs it, even if they don't need it. Mr. Bruce Lee, $100. You guys are amazing. Listening while putting up the Christmas tree. Recently became a hat guy, so ordered a couple of those Richardsons. Pretty stoked. Yeah, I actually ordered a black Richardson today because after I told you that, I thought, you know what? I think I got the 112. I got a black 112 coming. Black back, black front, and I've got I'd have to get up and I'm all connected. My headphones are connected. But I've got a patch, a Birmingham Barons. Get it? Barons. But the old Black Barons, the old Negro League Black Barons patch, I'm going to put right in the middle of it. It's going to be a dope hat. I mean, it's going to be awesome. So I'm pretty stoked as well, Mr. Bruce Lee. Thank you for the donation. Very generous. Blake dropped the post, and it exploded with 5.4 thousand replies, and 90% were against TPUSA, Charlie's friend. One single day, and boom, 10 years of Charlie's hard work got torched. Very sad to see it. Charlie helped me a lot. Let me just be honest here. Let me be as honest as I know how to be. It didn't have to be this way. If they're innocent, it doesn't have to be this way. And I know that they don't like Candace. It could be because she's a woman. It could be because she's black. It could be because whatever. And I hate to play that card, but, I mean, let's be honest. It's a little white and male at TPUSA. I hate to play the card, but let's just call I almost said call a spade, but that's probably not great imagery in this context. But I look at TPUSA and I think, if they came to me as like a crisis communicating consultant, and they said, but bam, how do we handle this? Everybody's questioning us. They think we're in on it. I would just say, hey, we're just going to be so transparent, no one can possibly think we're lying. And we're going to explain everything. And we're gonna invite people to call in. We're gonna go on podcasts. We're just gonna go on a tour. Like, you can win the day. If Andrew Colvett, I will have him on this podcast, but if he came on here, he could go on Sean Ryan, he could go on Tucker Carlson, he could go on Candace Owens, he could go on so many podcasts. I would even have Blake Neff, even after everything I've said about him. I would have Blake Neff on. If they just went overtly transparent and just telling the story, and just said, hey, look, we're not going to compromise the investigation, but we'll tell you anything we can tell you. We have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing to hide. It would be very hard to attack them. But when they act guilty, it's very easy to attack them. When their stories change, it's very easy to attack them. Yeah, I feel bad for Chuck. I enjoy your hat gimmick. Yesterday, I noticed what's underneath. Brotherhood of Thieves, Nantucket. Looked it up. That's a crazy hat to have. Yeah, there's a story behind that. It's a great restaurant. I've eaten there a few times. When I go to Nantucket, they have great chowder. Legitimately great chowder. Brotherhood of Thieves. And so it's just a great restaurant. It's a cool restaurant. It's in a cool part of town. A great, great place. So I encourage you, if you're ever there, that's not free advertising. If you're ever in Nantucket, head over to Brotherhood of Thieves, get a reservation, go in there and enjoy the dinner. It's great. It's a really great place to eat. Not terribly expensive. Not one of those stuffy places. It's just fun, laid back, easy going. That says Erie 2. Huh? I bet you didn't know an Ethiopian brother is watching you religiously. Thanks to Ian. Christus Regnat. Isis Nigus, KOC. I don't speak Latin. I think that's pretty obvious from you guys putting Latin phrases up there and having me try to guess how to say them. I'm not the most Latin-y person you've ever met, but I do know a few phrases here and there. I know the responses at Mass, if that counts. My hat's all off center now. Let's see what you guys have made me do. Speaking of Mandela effects, what was the actual lyric to the holiday songs, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Fill in the blank. You can, I'll be home for Christmas. You can blank on me. You can, is it bank on me? You can bank on me. What's the answer? I'll be home for Christmas. Is it bank? You can plan on me. Dang it. I do not listen to a lot of holiday music. You can plan on me. You can plan on me. It doesn't surprise me because I don't know the answer. I didn't think I knew the lyrics. I thought it was bank. I knew it was something like, you can count on me, you can blank on me, you can plan on me, you can bank on me. I knew it was something like that. Thank you for the donation. Listening to you on my Bluetooth and my hearing aid. Good to catch you live. Keep shouting. I have Bluetooth hearing aids as well. You know what I play a lot? Lori Half Death with Ms. There is a playlist on Spotify called Floating Through Space. You can play that through your hearing aids at like a very low level, like 20%. And it makes everything more peaceful no matter where you are. Don't say I never gave you anything, Lori Half Death with Ms. Don't say I never gave you anything. Floating Through Space playlist. Just hit random. Each song's like 2 or 3 minutes and they fade in. They set it so it fades in one to the next. And it just makes life more beautiful. If I'm wearing hearing aids, I'm probably listening to that. And TPUSA is fake and gay. Not the happy type. Starting to believe that, and I hate it. Because, again, Charlie's life work is being blown out the back of the rear end of TPUSA. You are a breath of fresh air. What? Love from Scotland. Oh, Amaya? Me? The aerial pics of UVU show people on the walkway above with the tent with crowds already formed in the amphitheater. Seem like they taped it off late in the day. Yeah, it does. I saw that. I noticed that as well. Real Baron Pod, Ian Carroll Show, Real Candace O. You guys should all do your own get-together at the same time as TPUSA and smoke them. I'm open. Candace may not want my style on her brand. I'm a little feisty, particularly with these guys. Oh, my gosh. I'm a little feisty. The opening argument was great, but I think the hats have ran their course. P.S. I used my reading glasses this time. Well, thank you, Texas Panther. Mikey One Stop. Thank you. Yeah, okay. I'm willing to part with the hats. I thought it was fun. And I might come back to the hat occasionally. But this is hat number 10. I went with perfection. I went with absolute perfection. The perfection of all of humanity is Christ reigning. So here you go. That's why we were here. Go watch Logan Paul versus CoffeeZilla to see the same pattern as TPUSA is using on Candace. CryptoZoo lawsuit, literally the same playbook and names. Is CoffeeZilla a thing? Is that a person? CoffeeZilla? I'll have to check it out later. I don't want to use precious airtime looking up something called CoffeeZilla. I just don't. Just don't. Basically, they're trying to take money out of her show by doing it at the same time to get her viewers. Yeah, that's true. Hope she gets all her viewers and theirs by doing it live on her show. Well, I don't know why you would listen. Listen, this is amazing. This is actually brilliant what she's done. I don't know why she would do it on their platform. Why wouldn't you do it this way? Because now you can have your research team pull up everything you think they're going to play. This is actually brilliant. Let's talk through this. Candace has an idea because Blake foolishly went through a litany of things the other day. So she knows they're going to cover at least those things. So the maroon shirts, statements people have made, whatever, tweets she's made, comments she's made about Mikey being happy. Blake, you called him happy. Let's be honest. He's pretty happy. So she knows what they're going to say. She can get her research team. They can have everything loaded on like 25 screens ready to go. And as the TPUSA crowd, and it's not like you have to do it live as they go. You can pause them. She can make it 6 hours if she wants to. As they go, she can listen to something, pause, pull up the quote, pull up the video, pull up the tweet, show it in context. now go back to them, let them give their explanation, and then she can pause them and she can give her explanation. She's going to get the final word on every single thing they say. That was so stupid, locking her out. Honestly, if I'm them, I would be crawling back to her, begging her, hey, we'll do it on the 14th. We'll do it on the 13th. We'll do it on the 11th. We'll do it on the 10th. We'll do it on the 9th. We'll do it on the 8th. We'll do it any day you want, Queen Candace. We are absolutely 100% not going to take you up on your offer to stay home and savage us, absolutely bury us, one shovel full at a time. I mean, to be honest, she should have never agreed to go out there in the first place. Now that I'm thinking about it, she should have said, no, I'll just play whenever you guys do yours. So why would you only watch theirs? You're going to get their take anyway, but you're also going to get hers. She'll have 4 million people that day live. That's my guess. That show will do 4 million people, not dollars. Well, I mean, that show will do 4 million people. And TPUSA will get like 20,000 of them. 3.98 million of them are going to be on Candace Owens' stream because they're going to hear everything the TPUSA fraudsters are going to throw, all the ad hominem attacks, all the lies, all the innuendos, all the misstatements, all the straw men, all the logical fallacies. You're going to get all that. Candace is going to play that live, but she's going to pause them, and then she's going to respond. So you get both sides. If you listen to the TPUSA feed, you just get the BS side. You just get the garbage, the lies, the dishonesty, the sinful, horrible, disgusting mess that they're going to be giving. It's amazing. We're not worthy, Candace. We're not worthy. Love the passion. Go Max. Thank you. Love your show. Love your energy. Been watching since Ian showed your Google Trend show. Keep up the great job. Thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you, Girl from 99. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. Enjoy it. TPUSA wants to meet Candace in their studio on their time, while Charlie would go anywhere, anytime, any questions, fearless he was, remove his name from the radio show immediately. They do need to remove it because it can't possibly be the Charlie Kirk show. He's dead. Blake Neff is nothing more than a mouthpiece for TPUSA. We all know it. Come on, Baron. The truth lies behind the BS. Yes, but it's one thing if, like Andrew Colvett, I feel like has kind of threaded the needle here on this, where he's willing to go out and say Charlie had a Superman neck because he didn't say he believed Charlie had a Superman neck. He said, well, the surgeon told me he had a Superman neck. What's he going to not say it? Like the surgeon said it. So he says it. The surgeon might be lying. Someone might have told the surgeon to say, tell him he was Superman. But Blake is actually inserting facts into stories, the old quivering lip. So that's the difference. That's the difference there. We love Candace. Thanks for standing for the truth, sir. Thank you for your generous donation, and thank you for the kind words. Eternal Truth 5, if that is your real name. Okay, I've had it with them. I could not wait to hear your response. You did not disappoint. They are freaking ridiculous. Agreed. On both counts. They are ridiculous. And of course I did not disappoint. What did you expect? Let's be honest. I kid. TPUSA has good folks, but not at the top. Donors, Zionists control our youth through turning points, excuse me. Charlie Dine is a bigger picture. Will we ever untangle Zion shoes? I don't know. I mean, I think 20 years from now, American foreign policy will look very different towards the Middle East because the people, like if you're 70 or above, there's like a 98% chance you buy into all that stuff over there. But if you're like 40 and below, there's like a 5% chance you do. And so nature takes its course, right? If you're 70, your likelihood of making 90 is not high. I mean, it's less than 50-50. And if your likelihood of making 100 is like even lower. So those people naturally their pro-Israeli foreign policy position naturally will expire. That's a polite way to say it. That's about as polite as I could come up with. Their positions will expire, and the new generation's positions will become a substantial majority position. So it'll be interesting to see how it changes. Subject change, sorry. I emailed you on 11/26, the subject line, the Franklin cover-up. I saw that. Boys Town and other foster care children. Yeah, I saw that, but I can only cover so many stories at once. Idea. Raise $50. Thank you, Pantherminus. Raise money for the truth. Sell shirts that say who killed Charlie Kirk, who killed JFK, who killed Epstein. Why did President Trump betray his voter? Who framed Roger Rabbit? I like that last shirt the best. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I might have had a thing as a child for Jessica Rabbit. I don't know. It could have happened. You are Betty. You're better than the rental counter scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Come on. Thank you for expressing everything we're feeling. God bless. Thank you. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Great movie. Great movie. We watched you exactly because you say what's on the mind. Preach on, brother. Christ the King. Blake Snake Bluff dismantled. I agree. He was dismantled. Somebody had to do it. Candace was just too nice. Just too nice. But again, when you're number one, you gotta conduct yourself a certain way. When you're not number one, you can lose your mind like I did. Don't be disappointed in Candace. Now that is a ludicrous thing. I guess going max ends with a 3-hour flight. Do you really think they owe Candace anything after all the allegations she said? That's silly. She should accept this ultimatum. You're soft on her. No, I'm not going soft on her. If I thought she was in the wrong, I would say she's in the wrong. I'm not going to be soft on anybody. But I don't think she is in this situation, and here's why. She's a mother running a household and a full-time broadcaster. It would be polite if they really wanted her participation. It would be polite of them to pick up the phone and say, give me 3 days that work for you between now and December 16th that you could come out here. And if she just couldn't make any of them, but I mean, it could be a weekend. It could be pre-taped. It doesn't have to be live at 2 o'clock or whatever. I mean, it's YouTube. Turn on the thing. They're really missing out, though. They're really missing out because what she's going to do, hopefully, is drop the hammer on them by pausing them every step of the way, and they're not going to have any views, and she's going to get the last word on every topic. They're retarded. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys hate that word every time I use it, I get emails. But that is slow in thought. That is legitimate use of the word. $8. What man uses the word bubbly to describe a friend? I'm clocking fake and gay. I've never described any of my friends as bubbly. And I used to have a gay business partner, and we were on the radio together. He was not bubbly. He's the one that pointed me into the way he was deep in Republican politics. Had worked in Texas state Republican politics and Alabama state Republican politics for decades. He was a gay man in his 60s, and he's the one who clued me into how gay politics were and how all the staffers were closeted gays. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like once you see what he was saying, you're like, oh my gosh, you're right. Every office, every person, they're all effeminate. They all look a certain way. They all are willing. I mean, it's just, he's the one that pointed it out. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I'm not, what is it she says? We don't know, but we know. We don't know, but we know. Something like that. Whatever it is she says, I'm saying. Eric is scheduled December 13th for a town hall on CBS with Barry Weiss, editor-in-chief of CBS News, as moderator. Zionist Barry Weiss hired to fix the narrative. We're about to learn who Erica Kirk is. I did not know that. I'll watch it. That sounds like a good programming. The Barry Weiss hire, I think, is interesting at CBS News, at the very least. That's the word I'll use. That's a really interesting hire. It'd be interesting if Erica Kirk walks in there and savages them. I don't look for it, though. My net Duvahaga. I don't know how much NZ bucks are worth, but I appreciate it. It's purple. I know that's big. That's the second biggest color we have. Thank you, Manette. Very, very polite. Tyler Boyer and the rest of the douches at TPUSA have literally turned it into Toilet Paper USA with all the BS they're pushing. Toilet Paper USA to clean up all the dew. I like it. That's creative. I'm going to steal that. With no credit to Astra Luna. Not true. I'll give you credit. Wow, $100. Thank you, Cassie. You don't need to apologize for getting fired up. Your honesty is needed. Love your podcast. Go Max. Thank you. I don't mean to apologize. I don't intend when I start the program to get that fired up, though. I really don't. Like, I thought I would go like 60%, 40 to 60%. I thought I'd be a nice medium, like a medium rare to medium. I didn't realize I was going to be medium well by the end of the night, like looking for a broiler to jump into. Thank you for the donation. Very generous. I freaking love you, Baron. Go Max. I'm doing my best, man. I did a super chat and forgot to write a message. Yeah, that is true. I saw your super chat. Dog groomer, we hear from New Zealand. What you are doing is amazing. The dogs freaked out every time I laugh. Thank you. I try my best. I'm just giving you the news. I'm just being who I am. But you got to have a lot of patience to be a dog groomer. I have one dog, and my one dog's hair is more than I can handle. She's a good dog, though, so I put up with it. She's good. She's good. You're getting traction, Baron. You got trolls in here. I got moderators, too. Crack them. Crack them. Here's a 10 if you please. Do the Blake hand gesture the entire live. No. I can't do it the whole time. See? And then I saw Mikey. I can't do it the whole time. People will think I'm on Blake's team. Baron, I wait for your show as much as Candace's. Thank you, family. That means a lot to me. Any thoughts? Maybe the shooting device was implanted underground and operated remotely, thus the hurry to change the pavement so fast. Lots of thoughts, nothing I can support with facts. That's the problem. The closest I've been able to get to a fact on anything that was not a rifle shot from somewhere conducted from a human, that Blake Bednard's video, I have trouble disputing. I'm telling you, the guy that's messing with his hat and then squeezes his hand and it looks like he has a device in his hand, and right when he squeezes his hand, you hear the crack. That is hard to debate. Now, I don't know what that is, that device he's squeezing. I'm trying to find something that kind of looks like it. I don't have anything that kind of looks like it. But he's got a little device. I really don't have anything that looks kind of like it. Here, tape. He's got a little device in his hand, and he's playing with his hat like as a decoy, and then he gets the signal. It's right when Dan Flood steps forward and touches his hand. You see him pull his hand away from his hat and squeeze something, and right then you hear the bang. It's Blake Bednard's. He's all over it. I don't know who or what. I don't know what it is. 46. Yeah, count. You got me. I turned 46 this week. Old as dirt. It advantaged me, though. I got to do the old man workout today at the gym. I would have gotten to do it anyway because I'm 45 and it was 45-year-old plus, but it saved me 5 wall walks. Yeah, see? Got to do the old man workout. Smokey the Baron says, only you can prevent cover-ups. I'm working on it, Ogre. I'm working on it. Doing my best. Hands down, the best laugh on YouTube. I hope you're being serious. I hope you're not making sport of my laughter, ma'am. Or sir. Dog whisperer. I hope you're not. Thank you for the very generous donation. That does mean a lot to me. I love your show. I look forward to it every time. You cover such interesting angles. Bless you. Keep you safe. I try to cover angles that other people aren't talking about. Like, and this is the way I did my radio show for years. If Sean Hannity was going to say something, I wasn't going to get on the radio the next day and say the exact same thing Sean Hannity said. Same thing with Bill O'Reilly. Same thing with Tucker Carlson. Same thing with all these people. If you're not bringing something fresh to the game, it's why I like Ian so much. Honestly. He always brings something new and fresh. Candace, always something new and fresh. No one was talking about Egyptian planes before Candace started talking about them. No one was going and tracking Egyptian planes, and then Ian all of a sudden is tracking them all over I love that stuff. I love that stuff. You got to have a different angle. You can't just do the same show everyone else is doing. People, if I tune in and somebody else is doing the same show I just heard Tucker Carlson do, or am I going to stay and listen to the whole thing? Why so gay? You asking moi, Matthew Harrison? Easier to compromise. Sure, these conservatives are flaming here on earth, but wait until they get to the afterlife. I don't know the heart, but it seems that with demons we're made. That's kind of I hate to speculate who is demon infested and who's not. But I think you're onto something there. That's all I'll say. I think you're onto something with the demon angle. I think I mentioned this before when I told you about my faith journey and how I ended up where I am today at 46 years old. When you're living a sin-filled life, let's just use the most extreme example. You're a serial killer, right? And you're unrepentant. So you go out and you whack somebody, and then you or maybe you work for the mafia, like you whack Tony, right? And then you got to go whack Giovanni, and then you got to go whack, Two-Head Pete or whatever. Well, eventually you're living a sin-filled life. Eventually, you've lost God's grace in your life, and you've opened your life up to demons. And I think politics preys on that reality. I think the demons who run politics prey on that reality. The Jeffrey Epsteins of the world, and worse. It's why they all end up that way. They all end up infected and demon controlled. You ever notice that? Did I finish your comment? Yeah, I did. But I'm not going to comment on anyone's eternal salvation. I don't know. Great show, man. Candace Owens should totally do a spoof TPUSA debate. It would make comedy history. I agree. She should, since they pulled this, she should put a lot of preparation into that show. I'm not so vain to say call me, but get with somebody and make sure you've left no stone unturned and absolutely savage them. No matter what they say, you destroy them. Treat it like the presidential debate prep. Just disappear from life for the next 11 days. And make sure that you are ready to go. You've got every single clip, every single tweet, every single statement, everything you've said has been you download all the transcripts, you use AI to categorize everything and give me timestamp. I mean, you come loaded for bear. And then you embarrass them. I'm back, missed a lot. We got to keep digging. Go Max. Thank you, mail lady. I hate that you have to miss the first part of the show sometimes. Love this version of you. Haha, I'm catching up on 1.75 speed. I cannot imagine what my wiggles look like on 1.75 speed. Did I tell you, I don't remember. Someone sent a time lapse of me doing a show, and it was like the whole 2 or 3 hours and 30 seconds. And I got sick to my stomach, and I thought, golly, these people have to watch me move all over the place. Sometimes I'm moving in and out of the mic for effect, and sometimes I'm just wiggling. And I can't help it. Sorry you had to do that, sir. All Facts Finder, $5, really teed off at Blake Neff today, so I posted a CNN article exposing the reason he was fired from Tucker's show. Sent to him and all TPUSA chapters. Now, some of those chapters might find that a credit to him. Got to be careful with that. That might backfire. Victor Gallegos. Not only on Monday, December 15th at 2 p.m., the exact time is their live show, they have their Told You So theme for their opponentless debate. Yeah. Again, I think she's solved this brilliantly. I hope she prepares, and I hope she just crushes them. Cut the nuts. They're scared. She's close to putting 2 and 2 together. She's asking all the right questions. With every answered question leads to more questions. Paper trails always lead to the truth. Plus, you all podcasters and you commenters, you guys commenting and sending videos. Excuse me, don't send me videos. You guys commenting and sending ideas, tips. Have you looked at this? Have you thought of that? Here's something. I mean, that is so amazing. You telling me that Wolves in Finance put out a video. Trust me, if Wolves in Finance puts out a video on TPUSA, I'm going to see it. I'm going to come across it on X. But if you have an angle, hey, have you considered this? I was looking through the 990s and I saw this. What does this mean? And then I look and I go, oh my gosh, that's corruption. I found it. Thank you. I'll even credit you. If you say, hey, please credit me if you use this. I will. I won't steal it from you. Rob absolutely lost his soul somewhere. Very sad. JoJo, it sure seems that way because if you go back and watch, if you go back and watch that whole sermon from 2012 that I played just two or three small clips out of, he looked at such peace. Like, I bet he was such a peaceful, good man. And I see why people love him. But that is not the tone of his sermons for the last 4 years. They have been totally different. Totally different. I just hope CO stays away from them. Funny how money can change a person. I don't know if it's the money. Sometimes proximity to fame is worth more than money to people. Maybe the amazing Mikey McCoy brought Tyler or whoever a change of clothes before heading to the hospital. I don't know what that means. I wish I did. Baron, you forgot Blake's third story. When he and Mikey were talking about an event a few days ago, Mikey said he was screaming, and Blake said, yeah, I was there. You were screaming and freaking out. That's right. When he tells the story the second time, he says Mikey's cool, calm, and collected. The third time, Mikey is now screaming. The story evolves. It's like the young and the restless. I almost made a bad joke. Dude, since you're becoming the afternoon drive show for your West Coast listeners, can you start doing traffic and weather at the top and bottom of the hour? West Coast listeners, traffic sucks. I don't even need to look at a computer. Traffic sucks. The weather's flawless. There's no humidity. You live in a desert. It's like 70, what time is it out there? 6 o'clock? 70 to 71 degrees. No humidity. No rain, no clouds. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thanks. I'm guessing you've got a mean news guy impression. Oh, yeah. I had to sub in for traffic and weather one time. Curious how Candace revealed Macron had a phone call with DJT on 910, and a month later he says he doesn't know that he'll get into heaven, but that he did make a lot of other people's lives better. He also said sometimes you got to do bad things to prevent bad things. He said it. Your humble host did not say it. The President of the United States said it. Baron and friends, thank you for standing up for all the lies, standing up to all the lies. TPUSA is about to come tumbling down. I fear for that. However we may serve, please let us know. Merry Christmas, God bless, and please keep Candace safe. Have you seen their new take? This was Timmy's take. This is TPUSA's take. Oh, if we don't get Candace under control, we're going to lose the midterms. Go on. Share that logic with me, good sir. If you don't get Candace to stop trying to point out all the lies coming out of TPUSA, somehow that translates into some congressman in a Nebraska congressional district losing. You know that's what the midterms are, right? These are congressional elections. You're aware of that? What does Candace have to do with congressional elections? Not only why does it matter? I mean, we should still want to get to the truth of a murder. Setting that reality aside, what does it have to do with it? Nothing. It seems like TPUSA is more concerned with money than Charlie's legacy. I didn't need Candace to tell me something is off. You and Candace are echoing everything we're questioning. Go Max. That's because you guys are brilliant. That's why you're listening. I was late. Status of CO and them, please. Rewind. Watch it all. It's a brilliant analysis. You won't want to miss it. Stop traffic in my Rasta hat. 3,000 people couldn't fit at that venue. Probably close. You don't think? I have not counted. The difference in Rob is apparent immediately. It breaks my... Yes, you're talking about the difference in the sermon I played today versus the ones I've been playing. It breaks my heart when I get past the anger and remember and realize who people were before the bad thing they've done. Grief that their light has been snuffed out. I'm telling you, the old Rob McCoy sermons, they're beautiful. They're like a beautiful song. Like I said, they're Christ-centered. They're God-focused. They are. They're not about foreign policy. They're not about tearing down other Christians. They're beautiful. Like, Robbie, you're one confession away from being right back there to that peace in your life. I thought there's a gag order. Can I talk? Haven't they used this as an excuse? I don't know too much about this gag order because nobody's following it. Brian Harpole's out there giving multiple interviews. He literally, you couldn't, like Blake could argue he wasn't really a witness. He just kind of ran off. Mikey sure wasn't a witness. He really ran off. But Brian Harpole literally had his hand in a wound. Like, hard to be more of a witness than that. But apparently they're talking. They want Canada in person to grift off her views. They're making a lot of money. Kay's Corner Farm Chaos. Why are so many people taking issue with Candace going to Dollywood, where security is high and is in the mountains, so no chance of snipers? But because she went there, they think TPUSA headquarters is safe. I I haven't seen a lot of people make an issue with that. I have seen some, and I think it's ludicrous because Dollywood's basically amazing. And you're right, it's safe. Like you have to go through security to get in there. And nobody would know she's going. It's not like it's on a public calendar. So it's dumb. Dumb. Do the live commentary with you, Tucker, Ian, and Candace. You think I can just get Tucker, Ian, and Candace on the phone whenever I want? Oh, you texted that to Candace after her live show. Oh. I thought you were telling me to, like... I noticed Candace today mentioned she went to an event last night. I'm not going to out her, but Tucker may have been in town. My invite got lost in the mail, Tucky. My invite got lost. I was not there. They removed Candace from the Blexit team. Did they really? The TPUSA? They finally took it down? TPUSA.com. Charlie's vision, America's future, the fight continues. Oh, that's corny. I don't have time for this. I'll take your word for it. Fake blood, change clothes. I see why people say it. I do. I see why people say it. I don't think it was fake blood, but I understand you people who refuse to believe he's dead. I get it. Will you please say happy birthday to my friend Gabe Owners, 69. He's a raging fan. He's also a pervert, ma'am. Or sir. Gabe. Baby. I hope you have a swell day. I hope it's today and it's the tail end of your birthday. I highly recommend updating the username as you've turned another year older. You could do 96. You know, people might not even notice it changed. But it will have changed. I don't give a damn. $10. The Mauser 98 specs, overall length, blank, blank, inch barrel, blank, blank, with height, blank, blank. But you can see cell phone in pocket. The gait needs analysis and would prove he may not be it. I see no gun in the leg. The only time we thought we saw a gun in the leg, we saw somebody limping in front of Phil Lyman's car. That's it. The only time we saw someone limping, he was limping in front of Phil Lyman's car, in front of Phil Lyman's relative's house, and in front of potentially a Toyota RAV4. The only time we saw someone limping. I just tell you, feed. Here you go, little birdies. You guys got to do something with it. I can't say any more than that. I wish you could take Candace's place. You get him. Candace is going to do a fine job on her show. I would love to go, but Candace is going to do a fine job. This God's chosen people being equated to superiority infuriates me. It's a responsibility to bless all the families on earth. God shows no favoritism. It's a perversion. Yeah, I noticed I haven't waded too deep into this controversy, but I noticed that verse continually gets bastardized. The verse doesn't say bless Israel. Israel's not born yet. It's Abraham. I will bless those who bless you, Abraham, not Israel. And curse those who curse you, Abraham. He's talking to Abraham, or actually Abram at this point. He's not even Abraham yet. Much less is there an Isaac. Much less is there a Jacob. All the families of earth will find blessing in you. All the families of earth will find blessing in you. That is such. I try not to wade too deep into those types of controversies, but yes, I agree with you. Not to mention later in the New Testament, it says that Abraham's descendants are those with faith in Christ. like that's what it says. Please read the email if I have something to do with CO. That way she can, if it has something to do with CO, that way she can get it and make him look like sobby, flabby, Flintstone, vitamin-sucking snake he is. Now, let's leave his Brigitte Macron out of this, man. If he doesn't, please read it anyway. I may read it tomorrow. Where did it go? I want to show it is the thing. And I've not taken the time to redact it yet. He talks about Candace's fans being disgusting. about how if you side with them, you don't love Charlie. I mean, it's Blake, man. It's just Blake being Blake. I'll read it. I'll figure out how to remind me if I forget. I'll figure out how to. I'll leave it pulled up on the computer and I'll figure out how to redact it. But let's not talk about Blake's Brigitte Macron, please. 12K watching. Were they really? 11.3 right now. That's big, Baron. Had to caps the R. The monologue was fire today, pal. We love you, buddy. I liked the monologue. I thought it was fun. I've been wanting to do that one for a few shows. I had to find the right one, and what a better show to explain that you people watching, you people emailing, you people frankly donating and making it so we are able to do this, are the reason they're not able to get away with these things anymore. Because back in the day, they had the New York Times and Dan Rather. That's it. Or the New York Times and Walter Cronkite. That's it. Now they got to deal with Case 04011. They got to deal with Sherry Dunn. They got to deal with Pro 31 Designs. You see the problem? You're my newest favorite, and you're in great company. Candace, Ian, Valhalla, etc. That is legendary company to be part of. I pinch myself when you put me in a group like that. When somebody's financial interest influences their moral stands, you can tell immediately because the arguments stop making sense. That's exactly what's happening here. They must still be hiding behind quivering lips. They make no sense. You definitely have become one of my one of my new favorites. I've literally burst out laughing so many times I've lost count. It's amazing you're sticking up for Candace and sticking up for the truth. Godspeed. I find what Candace is doing inspiring. I haven't always, I love the Brigitte Macron series. I was glued, man. Every episode, I was like, I don't think I heard of it until the second or third episode had come out. Someone sent it to me, like, you got to check this out. And they said, did you know the president of France was married to a man? I was like, what? That's dumb. And then I listened to the episodes and I was like, what? That's a dong. I mean, it's got to be there. Or it was at one point. She's either duct tape or scissors. She's one or the other. And so, yeah, I love that series, but I've listened. There've been shows she's done, and I'm like, I'm not buying that. But the amount of courage she's shown in the face of the incredible, I dare say, tens of millions or hundreds, potentially of millions of dollars of propaganda advertising they've thrown her way. The fact that she still puts on her heels and goes to a party, puts on her tennis shoes and goes to Dollywood, fires up that camera 4 or 5 days a week and does a show. Guys, it's inspiring. I've been there where you feel like the world's coming down around you. It's a lonely place. It is a very lonely place to be. And I'm inspired. I can't help it. I'll always stick up for somebody I feel like's being picked on. And I feel like she's being picked on. Familiar with John Cullen analysis on the Kirk shooting? I am. I sent an email about potential drones at the event. You might be missing the kill shot, not Tyler. I've seen the drone angle. Like I said, I don't agree with everything John Cullen says. I'll admit I'm intrigued by the Axel 10 plane, November 1098, Lima. But I don't know that a drone shot Charlie. I'm not there. I'm not there. Engraving on brass casings would leave residue, and they were difficult, long, different phrases as well. The clothing of all were changed. Gunpowder, residue, blood. I knew a PT in Salt Lake City gate review. That's a great point, that the change of clothes, again, thinking alternatively, if any of the security people were involved, a change of clothes would get rid of that evidence. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. I hadn't considered that. I don't know that they were involved, but if they were. I don't have an explanation for this move. I do have a video that proves that is a sign. I do have a video that proves that here, let me move this for just a second. I'll come back to it. I do have a video that proves that Dan Flood stepping forward, wrong hand, and touching here is a sign, because Charlie, in a previous appearance from back in 2024, he's wearing a dark shirt. I can't remember what it says. It's got white print on it. But he's saying something. He's saying something, and his he gets to something about signs, like, oh, it's a sign or whatever. And Dan Flood steps forward, touches his arm right here, looks at somebody and laughs like, yeah, signs. So I know that's a sign, 100%. Was it the kill shot sign that day? I don't know. But if you had somebody smart who knew how to look up stuff and find it, and like Sam Parker would be brilliant at that. Compare that video to Dan Flood stepping forward and doing the shot. That would be that's right in Sam Parker's wheelhouse. I don't know how to find that video though. It's from last, I think it was from last year. Charlie was wearing a short sleeve shirt. Dan Flood was wearing a short sleeve shirt. And he steps forward, and right as Charlie Kirk says signs, he steps forward and does that, looks at somebody and laughs like, yeah, signs. And then on the day Charlie Kirk is shot, he steps forward, does that, bang. That to me starts to look like evidence. That to me starts to look like evidence. If Andrew Colvett attends any panel discussion debate, then his statement that it was supposed to be her and she and Tucker are in danger can be proved further. Yeah. No. They're not going to let Candace ask questions. That was the whole point. Candace, you can sit there and let us use you as a punching bag, or you cannot show up. Those are your options. Those are your options. There's no panel discussion. Awake in the early hours in the UK to watch you, Baron. Oh, I should have gone later today. I went 30 minutes early. I apologize for having you wake up so early. I'd love to do research as part of a team with you, UK branch right here. When I mentioned that, I thought it would be amazing. And I talked about how do we do it? How do we limit it? I got multiple phone calls from people I respect that have been longtime people in this area who said, do not do that. You will be infiltrated immediately. And people will immediately know what you're working on. Like, you need to keep your research with people you know and trust, not people who pay you $25 a month to be on a team. And I thought, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. So it broke my heart. I got to think something else to do, because I do want to have smaller discussions. If TPUSA is in on the hit, the way the FBI closed the case so fast, does that mean the FBI is in on it too? Or just stupid and trying to up close rate? You're just asking questions that a lot of us like to ask. I don't know. Michelle Ewell, 2829. Thank you. Very generous donation. $50. Wow. Gouda evening. It's a very Gouda evening. It's Gouda cheese. I appreciate you and your podcast. As an attorney, how do these elites continue to get away with everything and nothing happens? It's very vexing knowing that this is the world we live in. How do we stay optimistic through it all? Do I have to tell you about the two-tier system of justice? Do I have to tell you that money buys you influence and power? Do I have to tell you that political connections are more important than following the law? That's how they keep getting away with it. Over and over and over and over and over. That's how they keep getting away with it. Thank you. Very generous. Candace, bringing someone should most def be you. Thank you, Dust. I'll let her know. Actually, I won't let her know. Maybe someone will tell her. TPUSA would do a copyright strike. They can't. They can't. They're running it on YouTube. And she's providing commentary. That's not a copyright strike. That is in the YouTube terms and conditions. I read them as a lawyer. Which means, because basically I say, if I'm going to broadcast on YouTube and you're going to pay me for it, because, they run ads and you guys are able to do super chats and all that stuff. So one of the things you agree to is people can use your stuff as fair use and do commentary on your commentary. So if you upload a baseball game, they can't, like I could go to get the Savannah Bananas game and I could run it and stop every now and then and provide commentary. Now I would have to provide substantial commentary, but she's going to provide substantial commentary. No copyright strike. No, ma'am. I noticed those are $8. Maybe over in, that's not a knife land. That's how it works. But over here in the Bald Eagle eggs, we don't play that game. Catholic convert here. Love your show. Then the charity and humor you handle serious topics with. I'm curious if you ever read Brant Petrie's Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist. If you haven't, I am sending to you. There's an address on baroncoleman.com you can mail stuff to. I have a Scott Hahn book very similar to that. What's it called? Scott Hahn Eucharist Jewish. It is called The Eucharist Sacrificed in Banquet. Oh, Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist. Ascension Press. Is that a Scott Hahn book? Oh no, that's Brant Petrie. That's the book I was thinking of. I think I've read it. I'm not knocking Jews. I'm just saying Jesus came to fulfill all that. That's it. Fulfillment theology. That's the definition of it. That was what Paul preached. That's what Peter preached. I think the hats are wonderful, but I'm here for the wiggle and max enthusiasm. Well, thank you, Jamie C. I'm doing my best over here. I do like that I'm able to get a message out because when people come in, they immediately see what I'm talking about. Mikey was Charlie's Gary Walsh from Veep. Never seen it. I've never seen it. Selena Myers, insanely devoted and always prepared. Assist with her entire life in that giant bag. Lipstick, hand sanitizer, speeches, snacks. Yeah, I can't follow along. I mean, I can basically understand what you're saying. There's a very attuned assistant, but people are going to request time off work just to watch. Same. I'll take a PTO afternoon if I have to. TPUSA doesn't have the cards. I agree. Thank you. Baron. I've employed hundreds of people, and without a doubt, women managers almost always outperform the men. So take it easy ridiculing the Neffs in this world. Women are spectacular. Duly noted, sir. Duly noted. Jasper Lawrence, $10. Thank you. When Barron was up in Nantucket, he bought a guitar to pluck it. He played a nice tune. Women did swoon. Oh, come on. I can't say that last line. The money line, so to speak. I can't say that. No, I did go fishing one time and get sick out there, though. It was wavy. We'll say that. Super sticker. Thank you, Zen. Very kind. How can she ask our questions while they opine? I don't think they're going to allow her to. She even offered to give them the proceeds. By the way, we pegged Jack. Let's not say pegged the Jack Posobiec as a glowy months ago. That might have gotten past some of you guys. Can we stop capitalizing the T in TPUSA because it's a bunch of low T males? Ooh, good call. It is a beta convention in there. I called it here yesterday. They backed out so unceremoniously. Proves money can't buy wisdom. Yeah, they canceled on her. 100% they canceled on her. Like a bunch of snakes. Erica Kirk is on an ABC Town Hall December 13th. Someone else mentioned that. I'd like to watch it. What is December 13th? Is that is that Monday? Oh, it's Saturday. Probably not going to watch it. Let's just be honest. I'm not wasting my Saturday on an Erica Kirk Town Hall. Is it in the day? Like when Erica Kirk Town Hall ABC. I mean, is it? They try to get me to ruin a primetime Saturday. You know how many Saturdays? I get so few Saturdays. I don't see it advertised on Google. Thank you for that. JoJo. A-Bucks, CoffeeZilla. Who is CoffeeZilla? This is the second CoffeeZilla comment I've gotten. I've gone my whole life without ever hearing of this guy. Called out PBD for being an MLM scammer shill alongside always Marco. Adam Sosnick, who was Candace called out in her last show. Happy belated birthday, Baron. Love your work. Thank you, JoJo. I don't know why you would call PBD a MLM scammer. I don't know what he sells. But I don't know who CoffeeZilla is, but this is the second comment about CoffeeZilla. Stephen Findeson, better known as CoffeeZilla. That's a dumb, I mean, he maybe's brilliant. I shouldn't say it's a dumb name. But okay, you like coffee, dude. Wow. I've never understood people who make coffee like their identity. Oh, I drink a lot of coffee. Like, yeah, so does 96% of the population. That does not make you like nouveau. Mickey Shaw, thank you. $50. Wow. They can't let her have access to the receipts. They'll gang pile on her demanding receipts, but won't give her the ability to show them. She needs to do it from her studio. I think that's the plan. I'm telling you, I'm excited now. I was kind of nervous. To be honest with you, because she would be walking into the snake's den. She would be walking into the lion's den, the bear cave, and she has no ground rules. There's no understanding of what she's allowed to do. Is she allowed to ask questions? Is she allowed to present evidence? Is she allowed to pull something up on the screen? Is she allowed to bring a laptop? So she just agrees, sight unseen, to go. And now she's got the best of both worlds. She can do 9 days of solid prep leading up to it, 10 days, and then absolutely slaughter them. She's going to catch a charge. It's going to be that bad. Savage Princess, Lord Jesus, the Spirit radiates from him like a light. He's a shell of a man now. You're talking about Rob. Yeah, he looks and sounds angry. How heartbreaking. Great show. Go Max 100. I'm telling you, that's why I played those clips. I want you guys to know that Rob McCoy once looked glowing and happy and preached the message of Jesus Christ. That happened. Do we know what happened to the kid that was being interviewed after Charlie was shot and then was stopped by TPUSA people? Any more from him? Don't know if we heard more from him or not. I knew his name at one point, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Can't think of it. Just say Julie. Julie. We don't know, no, but we know. Love you, Baron. Go back. Why are we capitalizing the R? I'm fine with it. Fine with it. I might even stylistically change it to that, but I don't know why we're doing it. Love you guys too. I'm doing my best to go Max, and we know. We know. Can your fire become a locker room speech? Go Hoosiers beat Ohio State. We are working on it. Oh, we're just days away. It's Thursday. Man, 2 days, Indiana's going to be the Big Ten champions. Wow. You overseas people have no idea what any of that means. Why are you still protecting Erica? She's the CEO of Toilet Paper USA. She's in charge now, so she's responsible for canceling the meeting with CO. I see your point. I think we'll learn a lot from Erica if she goes to this town hall meeting. I've got to see something from her I disagree with. Now, this is kind of a thing. This savage setup of Candace is kind of a thing. I mean, that might honestly start the process of pushing me away. Like I said, the moment MAGA died was Trump looking across at reporters in the White House saying, "Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?" Yeah, we are. And now the beginning of the death of TPUSA is this rug pull on Candace. Yeah. We know how the outcome will go down with Tyler, but if you're representing him, do you think you would have a good chance of getting him off based on the evidence we've seen? I don't know what evidence they have. Keep in mind, evidence has to be admissible. It's not just the evidence that we're talking about. There are requirements, there are predicates that have to be laid. So I don't know what they have that's admissible. I don't know what statements he made to other people. I mean, supposedly they've released texts from him and his lover, but there could be any number of other texts. When you get into a case, you oftentimes are surprised and learned all kinds of things. I mean, they may be holding out a manifesto from his apartment. We don't know. I doubt it because I don't think he did it. I think he thought he might be involved, so maybe he did say some incriminating things, but I don't think he pulled the trigger on the kill shot. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's as a professional, it's very hard to say, do I think I could get somebody else? I think there's reasonable doubt as from what's available in the public right now. I think there's very reasonable doubt. I think his best case is for him to shut his mouth, say nothing, and put up a ballistics expert like Peterson who explains that angle from the Losi Center where they said he took the shot could not have been a kill shot from there. To me, if I'm going to trial just based on what I know, that's my biggest hope of getting him off. I'm taking an expert on ballistics to explain that a 30-06 round arriving with 2,000 or 3,000 feet of force concentrating in the neck on a 9-degree downward angle, at a 9-degree offset, and a 12-degree downward angle would not damage the C2 to the C6. It would not result in a fragmented bullet that ended up in his heart, and it would have blown out the back of his neck and killed everyone behind him. I'm going to more than the texts, more than all that. I'm going to trial with that. That's my guy. That's who I'm relying on. That's my star witness. And I'd like to see who they put up that says otherwise. Love what you do. Wonder if there's a better term than effeminate men you could use. It implies that women, femininity, are weak and cowardly. I believe in a fundamental difference between men and women. Sorry. If you lined up every woman on the planet of just random age, 35, and every man on the planet age 35, you would see a little overlap on the far extremes in terms of strength, aggression, testosterone, all that, and manly behavior. And then all the women would be over here, and all the rest of the men would be over here. You'd have a little bit of offset here in the middle, but like almost everybody else would be in this giant. They're different. We're different people. Thank God. A world full of women or a world full of men would be miserable. That's why the good Lord saw fit to make both and have us attracted to one another. Tab A, slot B, you know what I'm talking about? I comment of Candace live to invite you and Ian to watch to the watch party at her place. I'm creating a watch party she doesn't know about. Last time I went somewhere I wasn't invited, I didn't have a very good time. Chronobucks, we're back in Sweden, baby. December 15th. You are kidding me. December 15th is George Farmer's birthday. Is that true? If so, that is super low budget of them to pick that day. Is that true? I'm looking it up. I'm not gonna propagate lies over here on this. Born 15 December 1989. That's on Wikipedia. I'm not doxing him. That is, I think, even less of them now than I did then. What happened to the crypto or Bitcoin video that had you pacing the house? Love your show. I'm going to give it to you. Amari 12-3. I'm going to do it. I'm nervous about it. I'll be honest. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. George Webb has been way out in front of this entire story. He tracked the planes first. Everyone here should follow George too. I've checked on some of his stuff. Thanks for the donation. Sanja Kroslovic. Hey, Bucks. Happy belated birthday, Baron. Thank you. That was Tuesday. Love your work. Listening at work in Melbourne, Australia. Australia, mate. Go Max. Go Candace. Go Baron with one R. Next time. I know you paid $50, and I hate to be the one to point it out, but it's only one R. I kid, Sonja. Thank you. Very, very kind. Go around work and say, "I'm not a knife." That's the only Australian phrase I know. And TPUSA is wannabe male version of The View. Who's Whoopi? It's Andrew, isn't it? Andrew's Whoopi. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Happy belated birthday, Baron. God bless. Thank you, Angela. Moniz. Thank you. Where are we here? TPUSA knows Neff's history. I think they're trying to self-destruct so they can all go vanish. Nobody tries to destruct a multiple $100 million a year operation, and that's where they are now. Nobody wants that gravy train to erupt. They might be trying to get rid of Neff. I don't know. I mean, having him going out there and changing his story 3 times is not helping his credibility. But nobody's trying to self-destruct that baby. They have so much money. They have so much money on the balance sheet. They're going to have $200 million on the balance sheet after this year. Write it down. I don't know that for sure. I don't talk to anybody in there. I've not talked to any accountants. I've not talked to anybody in the finance department. But from what I've seen, how much money they're raising, how they're investing it, how they're putting it into the endowment fund, all the T-shirts they're selling, all the money they're raising after Charlie Kirk died, I bet they're going to sit on $200 million at the end of this fiscal year. And we won't find that out for like 2 or 3 years. So come back every day between now and then. What did you think about the ex-post from Vladimir Soloviev calling out Macron's fraud and telling him Macron could sue him if he didn't like it? Hadn't seen it. But I'll take a picture and check it out afterwards, little partner. There we go. All right. I'll check it out. How did I do pronouncing that name? I'm working on my pronunciation. Vladimir Soloviev. Do I sound Soviet? Soloviev. Wolves in Finance mentioned you in the last video. Go Max. I did not know that. I'm going to have to go back and listen. I saw I was in another video that came out today that was a little scandalous. A tweet I put up. Thank you for that. Let me know that, because I do like to know when I get mentioned in other places. I like to go look at it. Make sure they're being fair. We have the same birthday. I am 66. Well, I'm 46, which means you were born in 59. Still love it when you scream, but one night I was dozing off and you screamed, I'm back. It woke me up. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure this is a show you should fall asleep to anyway. God knows what kind of dreams you'd have. Sent email regarding Zach Costello pod. You got 2 emails because I forgot to include the link in the first. Let me see. I think I have that pulled up. Hold on. Let me make sure it's the right one. Is he the guy from Nebraska back in the 90s? Is that this one? I'm not going to play it. I'm in the middle of watching it, if that's it. Was this the... It was about the 90s, the guy who was in the MK Ultra thing and was trained to be a gay prostitute and compromise politicians. Was that guy? Because I'm like, whoever sent me that, you got me. I sure enough started that one. I'm watching. There was a group of employees working against Charlie Kirk behind the scenes. Oh, no, it sounds like a different one. I'll check it out. Is CO the apex among influential people now? When you're the number 1 podcast in America, you tend to be influential. You know, and again, really all the top 10. So Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, Tucker Carlson, Candace. These are people with tremendous viewerships. And yeah. So Alpaca Renee, $50 Alpaca Renee, woo. Install my new Starlink, no more driving into town. Okay, so those that don't know, Alpaca Renee was such a faithful listener. She would drive into town, bundled up in a scarf and a parka, and sit in her car with the heater on for 3 hours watching the show. This is amazing. So yes, so she was catching up on the Real Baron podcast, but she now has to catch up on Candace Owens. Boy, you've got a lot to learn. They have been killing it. They've absolutely been killing it. Jenny Huffman. I know a Jenny Huffman here in town where I live. I don't post to X much if ever, but tonight I went bat doo-doo crazy on Blake. I even posted to Trump, Patel, and Bondi to say TikTok, Americans want confirmation of death threat in presser. That's going Max, ma'am. That's going Max. Baron, love you. Go Max. I think Rob is possessed. You said it, not me. Thank you, Diana. I mean, the baby that changed his shirt Tyler Robinson was photographed at Dairy Queen in was in Mikey's backpack. What? What? Maybe there was some more evidence. Maybe there was a screwdriver. Maybe that could be any number of things in there. I don't know what was in the backpack. He hadn't answered that question. The whole bless those verse reminds me of playing lottery or superstition. How convenient for them. Yeah, particularly when you change the words to suit you. Yeah. And it really suits you. $5. Argentum. Is that some kind of mineral or something? Is that silver? Argentum? Isn't that AR? Argentum? Can you confirm that Tyler Robinson's attorneys only have to prove that he didn't commit the murder beyond a reasonable doubt? Seems like an easy thing. Tyler Robinson's attorneys don't have to prove anything. The burden of proof is on the state. The defendant gets to hear the state's evidence. So each side will give an opening statement. The state will put on a case. If after the end of that case, the defendant believes the state did not meet its very high burden of proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt, the defense can then say, we don't even need to put on a case. Let's let the jury hear it now. Or can move, actually, in order to preserve your appeals, you have to first move to the judge that the judge is going to decide the case based on the fact that they didn't meet their burden. That will then preserve all your appeals that you made during the state's case in chief. But then the defendant will get the opportunity to put on a case if he so chooses. And at that point, again, he doesn't have to prove anything. He gets to put on a case to start chipping away at the state's case. Oh, you have a witness that said there's DNA on the screwdriver. Here's my witness that says why that's not my screwdriver. Example. Oh, here's your witness. You put on an expert showing that a 30-06 can be stopped by superhuman bones after taking a 60-degree turn. Here's my expert that says that's not possible. And so the defendant gets to then slowly start chipping away at the state's case during his case in chief. And then there's some procedural, I mean, that's the basics. There's some procedural stuff that takes place after that. And then each side gets to close. The state typically gets a sandwich close, meaning they get to go first and last because they have a higher burden to meet. One time, I thought I pulled a fast one, and it actually backfired on me. One time, the state, it was actually a military court, the government, the federal government, brought up new evidence in their sandwich close, and I, as the defendant, objected. And I said, hey, they're bringing up new evidence. I now get to close again. And he said, okay, but you understand the state has to meet the burden, so they get to go last no matter what, right? And I said, sure. So they actually got 3 closings, but I got 2, and it helped. And we got a good outcome for our guy. So yeah, the defense has to prove nothing, though. That's not the defense's job. That's the state's job. Maybe Candace will just show up so they aren't expecting her and won't prepare for her. That would be dope because they couldn't refuse her after offer. I like the idea of doing it better live at home. I think she will be far more effective that way. And she will control the tempo, she will control the tone, she will control the content, and she will slaughter them. I'm telling you, if she prepares properly, she will slaughter them. I am volunteering my services. I can't speak for Ian. I can't speak for Valhalla. I can't speak for Ryan Mata. I can't speak for Blake Bednarz. I can't speak for Sam Parker. But I imagine she would have a lot of people willing to pool resources, whether through Google Documents or file sharing or just meeting at the house, sitting in the basement, and throwing some whiteboards up on easels and drafting out. Oh, man. If you treat this like a case, if you treat this like a trial, Candace, you could slaughter them. You could end them. Absolutely end them if you treat it right. You mentioned the video of the guy that was holding something by his hat and then squeezed it. I never saw that one. Do you have it to share? Yeah. I think it was Blake Bednarz. I think it was Blake. And if you go to his, let me see here. If you go to his, yep, go to Blake Bednarz on X, B-L-A-K-E, Blake, I'm getting tired, B-L-A-K-E, B-E-D-N-A-R-C. I will pull it up and so let you see what it looks like here. But this is Blake Bednarz. This is how you spell Blake Bednarz. It's right there. So that's him. If you go there, it's this video. This is the guy right here. He will pull something up and hold it and squeeze it. So I don't want to play the whole video, but you'll see it. And it's a video I've had to contend with that I've had trouble getting around. Like, my gut is he got shot from the Sorensen Center, not the Losi Center, but the Sorensen Center. That's my gut. But that video from Blake Bednarz is hard to get around. It just is. It just is. The Axel aircraft most likely had sensing equipment on board to spoof cell towers and grab all the cell phone data to put into Palantir. Well, that's interesting. I hadn't considered that. But they were gone. Well, they were gone by, unless they dropped it off out of the plane, they were gone by the time. It would make more sense to me that you're talking about the Axel 10 plane, the November 1098 Lima. That plane, it would have made more sense that they dropped a payload out, an airborne payload that flew over and then was in the area and was able to black out communications, spoof cell phone towers, and do that kind of stuff. I believe that technology exists. And then they come back and they fly back, and the technology flies back and gets back in the aircraft. I do believe that exists. Wow. Owen Hornbaker, $100. You guys. You make it very easy to be able to put the time that my wife will allow me to put the time in to do this show with donations like that. Thank you. I still say you have to consider Farnsworth actions in the last 10 seconds ahead of the shot and nod to Flood in the last second before the shot as additional evidence of a plan. Somebody, in my opinion, this is not me saying Dan Flood's guilty or killed anybody, and something caused Dan Flood to step forward and give this signal. And this is a signal. I'm convinced. In my opinion, but I'm convinced. I'm right. I'm convinced my opinion on that is right, that he stepped forward and gave a signal. Somebody gave him a signal to give the signal, whether it was through an earpiece, something on a watch, some countdown, but it looked like he looked to his left towards where that bush was that Butch Hibbs was talking to, and where the guy in the maroon shirt was standing with the 47 hat before they threw him out. So he clearly, or seems to be part of the team. But it looked like he looked towards that bush, or might he look towards Mikey, but he looked to his left and then he stepped forward and he gave that. As he did that, there was the guy that squeezed his hand. There was the girl that did the twist on a lot going on. And then there was obviously some sort of loud bang from behind the crowd. So if this was a plot, this is sophisticated. Very, very sophisticated. Thank you for that very generous donation. Very generous. Have you dug into the 990 filings? Yeah, a little bit. Baldy Blake was right that TPUSA hadn't missed one, but Shell Company, America's Turning Point, missed theirs. Yeah, that was deceptive. That was deceptive. Actually, no, they didn't miss it. Hold on. I don't think they missed it. I think they filed it. It just didn't get updated to the IRS website or to GuideStar. That's my understanding, that the dates were actually correct on it, but for some reason they just weren't publicly revealed like they're supposed to be. Did I miss the other possible Pierre? Not tonight. I may do that one. I am going to do that one. I'll tell you right now, it's Pierre Omidyar is his name. I just don't have time to do it tonight. We're already at after 9 o'clock here, and it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. But yeah, just so much content. I actually had it on the list of things to talk about, and I just want to pay for a shout out for DD Got a Podcast. I like DD Got a Podcast. DD reached out to me about doing a collab. I told him I would, and then I've been too busy, and I feel bad about that. We need to. I like his show. I think he's a cool setup, man. I like authenticity. I like when somebody just opens a laptop and starts talking, and brings fire, brings actual fire. He does a good job. Super sticker, thank you, Audrey. They picked her husband's birthday. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That's disgusting if they did that on purpose. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but if they did, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Wendy, MK Life. MK Ultra Life? Wendy, is there something you need to tell us? Is there a code word? Butterfly. Banana. Bassoon. Basura. Is it Hispanic? MK Life. That's terrifying. $20 though, so your training has paid off well. Big fan of MK Ultra. If you guys are going to pay me $20, thank you, Wendy. Very kind. I don't know what MK Life means, but I was just messing around with you. Go Baron. Thank you, Blue Cheer. Thank you. That's a beautiful. Is that a horse? What is that? I'm gonna blow that up a little bit. It looks like some sort of ancient artifact. It's beautiful. Thank you for the donation. This is to help fund whatever you mix with your eggnog. Thank you for your after party following Candace's beatdowns. Merry Christmas. All right, one crabby old blanker. Here's what I got to tell you. I don't eat eggs. I'm allergic to eggs. They'll give me pneumonia. They mess with my lungs really badly. So I can't drink eggnog, but you know what I can drink? I drink almond milk. I drink coffee. I drink coconut milk. Unfortunately, whole milk I love whole milk, and I drank it for a long time. It was one of my favorite things. I drank about a half gallon a day, and unfortunately, it started messing with my lungs. I have very sensitive lungs. Listen, you hear that? That ain't pretty. Go Bucks! Gosh, Sarah, I wouldn't do that to you. I kid. May the best team win. I don't take sports too seriously. May the best team win. I'll take the Formula One race seriously Sunday. That I'm taking seriously. But the football game, not very seriously. If Tyler's found innocent, what happens then? Well, the case is still open. Someone shot him or someone killed him. That's a big if. It's a big if. Again, innocent of what? Because here's the problem. And this is kind of the brilliance of having a patsy and a big plan like this. It would be hard for him to be innocent. We don't find people innocent in trial. We find them not guilty. That's the standard. Innocent means you didn't do it. Not guilty means we weren't able to prove you did it. So let's change your question. If Tyler's found not guilty, what happens then? Well, what happens then is the case is still open. But think about how hard it would be to show that he's not guilty. Apparently, there's a rifle at the scene that's his. Apparently, I'm taking it at face value. Apparently, he was at the scene. And apparently, he's hanging out with the group of people who did it. So in all likelihood, he had some involvement. And if they hang him on anything, I mean, I think a jury's going to cut him down. It'd be tough for him to be found not guilty. Payne Revere, $9.99. Why is TPUSA apparently disinterested in finding out who killed Charlie and in making sure an innocent man isn't convicted? That's the fundamental question. It is indeed the fundamental question. This gets back to someone asked, what would I do? What advice would I give him? I would say you are so public and you're so transparent that you're at risk of irritating the judge. Like, I want the judge to call you out by name and say, Blake Neff, you have got to stop talking about this case. You are too open, you're too honest, and you're too transparent. You're answering too many questions about the Charlie Kirk death. Hold on. I'm calling BS when Blake says he'll never forget the quivering lip. Dude, you just saw your good friend get shot in the neck and lip quivering. It's one going to stick with you forever. If it turned him on. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Karen. I didn't mean to do that to your comment. Yeah. Again, the first story he said, it's funny. He has to keep saying that it's crystallized. I'll never forget. It's always going to stick with me. Because his first story, he said, was crystallized in his mind forever, meaning it doesn't change. And then his story changed. I'm sorry, I was trying to think of what I was going to say to this next person. Baron, pull up the Sam Parker, play that video for us. So the video I was suggesting Sam plays is one that he would need to construct. Sorry if that was loud. The Dan Flood sign video playing right after Dan Flood joking about that sign the year before. I think that's a devastating video combo. I'm not a big video editor. I don't know how to do all that. But I know Sam does because he creates some great content, killer content. And I think that is right up his alley. Like, if I was going to ship that story to somebody, it would be Sam Parker. I would say, hey, Sam, I know this video exists of Charlie saying the word sign and the guy stepping forward and doing that and then laughing about it. Like, obviously that's a sign. And then he does it right as Charlie gets killed. Pretty devastating evidence, if you ask me. Pretty devastating back-to-back video. So I can't pull it up because I don't even know that he's listening. I might contact him. I can contact him and give him the idea. Blake Neff is now saying we are not booking a guest and we never said we were to Jimmy Dore. We're not booking a guest and never said we were. You invited her on the show. What are you talking about? That's the definition of booking a guest. I like Jimmy Dore a lot. Jimmy Dore's funny. He's got a great show. Great show. I like your voice. I put the longer lives that I've already watched on at bedtime and I go to sleep. Oh, you fall asleep to my voice? I yell a lot. I'm loud. So you watch the show live and then you replay it as you fall asleep. Diana? Let me tell you, I got to confess something. I told my wife this today. I fell asleep listening to a podcast last night. I'm not going to tell you which one. I'm not going to tell you what I was listening to. But it was two people, the host and the guest. And the host and the guest were talking, and I faded out of sleep. And in my dream, I'm sitting at this table right here, in this office right here, with this microphone right here. And I'm watching the podcast. Now, keep in mind that I'm just listening to it, but in my mind, it's creating a picture, and I'm on the podcast. And I keep trying to intervene because they're making a point, and I'm like, oh, I got something to say about that. And I keep trying, and they keep trying to talk. And so I'm like looking at my soundboard. I'm like, is it on mute? Is it plugged in? Is the mic? So I'm checking my settings. I couldn't figure out why they couldn't hear me. I'm like, it looks like they should be hearing me. And I'm like, well, I'll just wait till the next time. Maybe they heard me, but they were just eager to keep talking and they didn't care what I had to say. Well, a minute or two goes by, I hear something else. I'm like, ooh, I want to chime in here. And they just keep talking. I'm like, son of a, they can't hear me. And then I woke up and I felt so stupid. I felt so stupid. And if you knew what I was listening to, you would feel, you would know how much stupider I felt. I hope you rock-a-bye Diana when the wind, I don't know how that song goes, but good night, Diana. Good night. Word is Barry Weiss is hosting an Erica Town Hall. I keep hearing that. Also in the news, Don Lemon is conducting the Turning Point Men's Choir in an upcoming Hanukkah production of Fiddler on the... That reads like a Saturday Night Live skit or like a Babylon Bee headline. That cannot be true. Don Lemon conducting a Christian group's choir. I didn't even know Turning Point had a choir, but a Christian group's choir in a Hanukkah production of Fiddler on the Roof. What does Fiddler on the Roof have to do with Hanukkah? Did I just betray that I've never seen Fiddler on the Roof? That reads like a Babylon Bee headline. What? How did Erica... I don't even know what that means. I don't want to think about her that way. Effeminate and feminine are not the same. Effeminate means avoiding the difficult, preferring the easy and pleasurable. Well, I know a lot of effeminate men, if that's true. Is that true that they mean different things? I was not aware of that. But MB loves Jesus. She wouldn't lie to us, would she? I wouldn't think so. Stephanie, 3863, thank you. Love your show. I love you, Stephanie, and I love that you're so generous with your resources. Thank you. You remind me of the Deception Detective. Never heard of it, but I bet he's outstanding. Do you watch him? I do not. He's a trained attorney in statement analysis and is dedicated to exposing parents' lies, manipulation, and their missing children. Neff checks all the deception boxes. Ooh, I'll have to check him out. Deception Detective. Sounds like something my sister would listen to. She likes true crime. And Allie Beth Stuckey. That's all she listens to, I think. True crime, Allie Beth Stuckey. Oh, and your humble podcast host. I hope. You better be listening, girl. All facts finder, Vladimir also called Brigitte his husband. I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to comment. I don't want to get sued. I propose a Russian doll of live casting on December 15th. Candace Owens live cast Talking Points USA. Ian live cast Candace Owen. I live cast Ian's live cast and so on. The problem with that is the person who is at the back of the line, so to speak, gets all the gets all the viewers if somebody wants to hear everybody. But I love the idea, Rain. That is awesome. That is awesome. I wouldn't do that to Candace, but that is awesome. That's a great idea. What I think I will do is, because she does play good cop, I might do my own prep and come in after her a day or two later and just bring the machete, you know. Wait, Candace cannot ask questions? That was my understanding. Can she cross-examine and redirect? I don't believe so. Can you elaborate on the format? The only thing we know, Retro, is that it was set up so that Candace would be the punching bag. It was like, you're welcome to come sit in our studio while we examine your statements and tell you why they're crap. That's kind of how it ended up. Like CBS, Paramount, TikTok, X, TPUSA is now propped up by a sub rosa guarantee. I don't know what that means. Of $100 million year floor from BB and Ellison et al. So that's why they're not sweating it, playing with house money. Well, if there was a big donation that Charlie allegedly had not taken, that big donation might be coming through. You know what I'm saying, Vern? You know what I'm saying? I've thought of it. I think you need to add yourself to that group of top podcast lists. Thank you for always speaking truth in an evil, fake, and gay world. I can't add myself to a list like that. That would be vainglory. I would not. Look, I'm just doing my best out here. If other people want to add me to a list, that's their business. I'm just having fun. I'm having fun, trying to do a good job at the same time. Jeffrey Epstein's carbine on 910 in Orem, Utah. Is a carbine a plane? Cloud Native Emergency Communication Response. I did not know that. I did not know that. Oh, here's some more. Carbine being sold to Axon out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Ooh, that's weird. Something to look into. You people look into that. I don't have time. Oh, another one. I don't give a damn. Carbine, a 911 Pegasus-style platform, was in Orem by 2023. It evolved from Reporty, linked to Epstein Barak, and was later acquired by Axon, based in Arizona, with Boyer. It pulls audio, photo, video. Now I got to look into it. You guys have piqued my interest enough. It took 3 of you guys to do it, but you've done it. So now I got to take a picture. Now I got to ruin an hour tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to find out about it. As CEO, wouldn't Erica Kirk have to approve that statement Blake Neff read? Depends on the policies. I don't know what policies they have. If they have a CEO approves every public statement policy, yes. If they have a, this is our podcast and we'll say whatever the hell we want, no. So I would assume she knew about it, but I can't say for sure. There was an ex-post tonight calling out about a dozen people at Turning Point listing all their convicted crimes. Lots of them. Send it to your and CO X accounts. I'll check it out. I will check it out, All Facts Finder. That's interesting. But again, are these people we've heard of? Because there's like 700 employees over there. If there are only 12 people out of 700 that have felonies or convicted crimes, which could be misdemeanors, that's probably below the national average of places that have 700 employees. Unless they're like kid diddling. I mean, there's like that would be a little unusual. But if it's like jaywalking or, fishing without a license, I don't care. Erica did an interview with the New York Times on YouTube today. Really? I'll have to check that out. I'm not aware. Thank you, Savage. I know that was a multiple donation day for you. Thank you. Christ is King. Aha! You have read the hat. You must speak Latin. Thank you, Brandy and Billy. If you've not gone to the Brandy and Billy show, check them out. I've been waiting another few days, and then I'm going to do. I want to push people over there, but I want to give you guys a chance to get some administrative things out of the way first. You're doing God's work out here. You're the best, and happy birthday. Love the Brandy and Billy show. All right, I'll say it. If you've not been to the Brandy and Billy show, go check it out. They do great work. They've been doing kind of recaps and making sure everybody's caught up. You know how a lot of you ask questions, say, oh, I didn't see that video. Oh, I missed that. I didn't hear that. Brandy and Billy do a good job of making sure you don't miss any of that. So, head over to their show and like and subscribe. Frank on Megyn Kelly, the great Mikey McCoy takes charge in hospital 2 months ago, YouTube. Yeah, but again, he said he didn't show up until right before the surgeon comes out 40 minutes later. 30 minutes later. I have to go back and check on the timeline. But yeah, that's where I got it, was from Megyn Kelly. Now that I've pointed to my hat, Brandy and Billy pointing out my hat, now the tape's coming loose. I can feel it waving in the wind. No new one. No new one what? What was your last comment? I got to go back and find it. No new one. Mail lady, where are you? I can't. Pull up Sam Parker, play that vid for us. Oh, a new one. Sam Parker has a new one. Did he do the one that I suggested? Is it on base, Sam Parker? There he is. Did he do a new one? New footage emerges of someone with a gun at the Charlie Kirk assassination. What? How? Is that what you're talking about? Hold on, let me skip around on here and see if I can find the image with the gun. And then if I find it, I'll play it. I don't see it. I hear a woman talking. Oh, and it's over by the all right, I'll play the video. I'll play the video. New footage emerging. Someone with a gun. It's buffering quite a bit though. Hold on. Let me get to the footage part and then I'll. Oh, you don't want to hear that. Where is the gun? Oh, right there. He's circling the gun. New footage of someone with a gun. This is based Sam Parker on X if you want to look at it yourself. Is that someone with a gun? Looks like a blue backpack. What am I missing? Blue backpack. Oh, that's a woman with a gun. Is that a gun? Oh, she's walking like it's a gun. That girl's trained. That girl's trained. See how she's keeping the soles of her feet in contact with the ground at all times? She is balanced. Now she turns. That's sure enough a pistol. No doubt about that. She's got a blue backpack on. What color is her shirt? That is wild. Let's go back to the beginning of that. Great comment, mail lady. Great comment. Where's the beginning of this video? How did people find this stuff? This is why we keep watching the videos. This is why we keep watching the videos. Here we go. So it's the lady in the blue backpack. There. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, she came up from the right side. So that tent, so let me pause here and give you some context. That tent there, that white tent, that's where Charlie was shot. So we're on Charlie's right. So stage right, crowd left. So let me say my thought on this. It's a great video, by the way. I had not seen it. Utah's an open carry state, and they allow them to carry on college campuses. In fact, I looked at the security procedures or the security, what they released for the Utah State University appearance at the end of September. And they even said, hey, if you're bringing a pistol or you're bringing a gun, it has to do this. You have to have that. You have to. So there were a number of, like, it has to be concealed. You have to have a license. You can't take it in certain buildings. So they even, Utah's, I mean, it's right wing out there, baby. The Mormons like their weaponry. The Mormons like their weaponry. And so it's possible she's just a civilian that has a concealed carry permit. But I watch their feet when they move. Watch their feet when they move. That's, to me, you can tell if someone knows what the hell they're doing or not. And that's not like firearm training. That's if you're ever around someone and they're moving backwards and their entire foot is in contact with the ground, they know how to move their body through space. Like, that's somebody who's been trained on how to move. Most people will not do that, and you're at risk of falling over. You're not balanced. That video of Blake almost broke my brain. I forgot he said he sent a telegram. What's the chances of Pavel having access to TPUSA's Telegram chats and notified CO? Very low. That would really hurt Pavel's brand if he's leaking things out of people's private chats. Like, the whole point of Telegram is it's supposed to be pretty safe. Which raises the issue. Why are they using it? Why aren't they just using a group text? Or like a WhatsApp? I mean, why are they using encrypted communication? That's weird. That's weird. Wolves in Finance on YouTube exposes a lot of TPUSA. Yeah, I guess I need to finish it. I watched the first half. I didn't hear my name. Someone said my name was in it, and I'm guessing it's in the second half. I need to watch that new release they put out. Love the energy. Thank you, 3i Atlas Passenger. Is 3i Atlas still whizzing through the solar system, or is it gone by now? I know the sun was very active firing CMEs at it. Exxon ties to BlackRock, Thomas Crooks. He was in a commercial. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, you know. I'm a TPUSA member. How are you a member? What's a member? They give you a card? Met Charlie Kirk in May. He had a hand in everything TPUSA related. No way Erica doesn't know. It was his baby. Well, Corny Taurus, appreciate the update. I didn't know you could be a member of TPUSA. Have you explored, investigated any of the LDS connections in the Kirk killing and Nevada Israeli Tom arrest? No. LDS and Zionism are oddly connected. I am aware of that connection, but I've not looked into any LDS connection to the shooting. No. Call it the opening argument. Ooh, I see what you're saying. I see what you did there. That would be illegal in court, but we're not in court. We're not controlled by the rules of evidence. We're not controlled by criminal procedure or civil procedure. No, not here. Not here. We're controlled by Almighty God and good, clean fun. That's all we're controlled by. Hello from Indiana. Barron's hat game is 10 out of 10. I've been there many times. Nod Narvek. I've never met anybody there named Nod Narvek, though. So I don't know if we've met. But I've been around the state. And hello from Middle Tennessee. Hey, about that video, did you see my email with the woman with possible pew-pew maybe a few weeks ago? I will have to go back and look. Is that your sire? Can you send it again? Thank you for the e-bucks, by the way. If I'm ever in Europe, I'll spend them. I'm kidding. YouTube does a conversion. I don't remember. I don't remember that one. Guys, we're over 3 hours, and I've gone through all the supers. I've had a lot of fun today. I hope you've had enough fun. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't typically go 2 days in a row. I can't imagine going 3 days in a row, but Fridays are fun to me. So I'll have to decide whether to do that or not. It'll probably be Sunday, but you never know. Might surprise you guys. Might come a little early. This has been a whole bunch of fun. Thank you. Let's all wish Candace a happy prep. Happy prep. And Candace, I apologize for the candy thing the other day. Well, I did not know from the sincerest bottom of my heart. I did not know that was a thing, that you didn't like that. So it'll never happen again. It'll never happen again. I'm at your disposal for this savaging of TPUSA. And if not, I get it. I'll just do it after you do it. Like, you savage them, and then I'll come through and, like, bayonet them. I'll go through and make sure nobody's moving before we leave the field. All right, guys. It's been fun. Again, I don't know when I'll be back. Probably. Did you see her post? I don't know what post. Jesse Cake. I'll probably be back Sunday, but I'm not sure. Have fun. Have a good weekend. And it may be tomorrow. Who knows?